Welcome to Screencast, Kind of Funny's only entertainment-based podcast where we come together and talk about movies, TV shows, and streaming services. We are streamed live every Friday around 11:05. All right.
Are we streaming right now?
Yeah.
Are we out there with in the stream? Are we fishing?
Yeah.
We're on a boat, scrolling.
Okay. If you want to catch us live, you can go to twitch.tv/kindafunnygames.
Hell yeah.
There it is. If you don't have time for that, that's totally okay. You can watch us on YouTube or Rooster Teeth. If you want to just hear us and don't want to look at our faces, that's cool too. You can go to any of the streaming services. We prefer SoundCloud just because, you can go in there and like us and subbed for.
Also, it's just a nice...
Yeah.
It's just a nice name, SoundCloud.
Honestly, everything goes through SoundCloud.
It's true. Also, I like the views on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I feel like I threw you off when I was fishing for a streaming joke, and it didn't work.
No, it's okay.
And
It's all right.
Just where we're at right now.
I'm just super tired, and I don't know why.
It's been a week, man.
It's because y'all haven't stopped working since Saturday.
But
This is the problem you don't realize.
It's been a light week, except for I've been doing a lot of personal stuff and running around like nonstop.
You've
like
bhan fixing cars and shit. Speaking of which, I gotta get your mechanic's number after this.
Yeah, I was
gonna
call him because Barrett also wants me to ask him if he does something else.
Perfect.
But
total non sequitur.
yeah,
Sorry.
Totally not. If you want to help support us, you can go to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you can support at whatever tier you want and watch our videos ad free. If you go to the bronze tier, you can answer my question. Unfortunately, not too many people did because Barrett forgot to tweet it out. So one person answered it. No problem though. There he is. Get thumbs up, Barrett. You did your job. It's been a busy week. No one blames you. I'm blaming him a lot.
It sounds like you're blaming a lot.
Oh yeah.
You actually started. You bookended that sentence off with blaming Barrett, which I want to tell you is a Scarpino pro maneuver.
I learned.
Right, you start with the insult. Like, you know how they always say praise, criticize, praise. That's the thing.
It's the compliment
Swap
sandwich.
it.
Criticize.
No, Barrett,
That's what you
everything's
do.
fine. We're done talking about you. You can go. It's fine.
Barrett, we love you.
We're not
Barrett,
gonna
how
say
you feeling
anything
tonight?
mean about-
You've been like burning the midnight
BTB,
oil
as we now call him.
with having to stay up and get all the Gamescasts.
No, it's
out,
been
right?
in the morning. Oh wait, is his mic live?
I don't know if my mic's live. How am I sounding cool, Greg?
Cool G, can you hear his beautiful voice?
I don't know how to turn that on.
On the left, the third button down, and it's the third button.
Check.
There we
Yeah.
go.
There it is.
They-
Look at me.
we-
That memory on me, huh?
Supposed to be coming in at night to edit all of the E3 Gamescast for this week, but the file uploads from LA have been taking so long that I've had to come into the morning anyway. But yeah, I'm definitely out of it because I've been working since pretty much Saturday. So yeah.
A couple hours though, almost.
You're gonna go home a little early today. I like your shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
dope.
Thank you.
Are you eating
yeah, I
just
don't
pumpkin
know.
bread?
What?
Yeah.
That looks so good.
Oh yeah, it's pumpkin bread from Starbucks. Let's
Oh,
go.
that is my favorite fucking thing that Starbucks
Yeah,
says.
warm-
Now here's
warmed
what
up
they
too.
do.
He's
Here's
distracted so easily.
No, but I'm gonna tell you guys right now. This is the thing that pisses me off about Starbucks sometimes. Right? I go there. And they have the pumpkin bread, and I don't eat the breads that much. It's like a little treat for me. Sometimes I'll use it to get myself out of the house on Sundays if I have to go to a show and I just don't want to do it. I'll go, you know what, Nick?
I'm gonna get
and I
pumpkin
say,
bread.
yeah, yes, Nick. And you go, you know what? We're gonna get you a little piece of pumpkin bread today.
Wow.
I go and I look and I go, can I get a piece of pumpkin bread? And they always go, sure. And they reach into the cabinet, that dry air conditioned cabinet, and they grab the top one. And I go, no, I want a fresh one. And then the manager always comes over and goes, sir, these are fresh. And I'm like, I know they're not fresh. Do you know how I know that? Because I can see them sitting out in the cabinet. And then the guy always goes like this, I got you. And they go in the back and they get the one in the package and it's soft and moist.
It's a great
and it's
story.
almost like sticky soft.
It's crazy how it's
so
not done
good.
yet.
So good.
It's crazy.
Anyway, I'm out of it. I'm sorry I didn't tweet about.
No, don't
Screencast.
worry about it. I'm just giving you shit because I
Fuck
told
you,
you I
Kev.
would. Because I told you I would.
I know. Fuck you, Kev.
I am your host, Kevin Coelho, and to my immediate right, one Nick Scarpino, the man with the three-fingered movie review. Nicholas,
Yes, sir.
have you seen anything good this
I
week?
finished Chernobyl, which I loved.
Sounds like you were in love with it. Yeah.
Very much. We've talked about that all week. I really liked it. I think arguably it's one of the best miniseries I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
And the fact that they can actually explain the science to you and have it be riveting. It's just a haunting series. It's just that the fact that that stuff happened is absolutely terrifying and just makes me think that we are not long for this planet. We're just gonna fuck ourselves real hard in the coming
I'm
years.
gonna actually try to watch it this weekend. So
I think
I'm
you should
excited
watch
about
it. And I've said this before, but I really think you'd like when they start getting into the science of what happened. Because the first episode, they're trying to figure out it's just about the chaos of the explosion.
I saw that episode.
The second one and the third one is when they start getting into the politics of how the whole thing happened, a lot of the lies that led up to it and afterward, and then the actual science of how that specific type of reactor could blow up. Because the idea behind the reactor is that it's supposed to be redundant. There's a redundancy. So the hotter it gets, the less efficient it gets, and then it keeps itself in equilibrium, in stasis rather is what they call it. So they use a lot of cool like I want to say, what is it, 60s? Is that when it happened?
I think so.
60s like models and weird cool. Just the way they do the whole period is so beautifully done. And then obviously Stellan Skarsgård comes in at some point. He's just amazing. Jared Harris is amazing. Like the cast is great. I forget the actress's name, but she's great too. Definitely worth a watch. But I will tell anyone right now, if you are thinking about watching the first episode, you're going to get hooked probably, unless you're Kevin. And then you're going to be 7 hours in and it's the most depressing fucking thing you've ever seen. Because it's sad because they didn't know what. Like all the guys that were the first responders had no idea what had happened, and they're sitting there picking up pieces of graphite that's more radioactive than Hiroshima. Like it's nuts. So it's a beautiful series. And then the other movie I wanted to talk to you guys about was I finally sat down and watched Bad Times at the El Royale.
Oh, I'm very excited to talk to you about this.
I loved it.
Oh, I fucking knew you would.
No, I just wanted to say I loved it because I wanted to piss you off.
On the scale, where's it at?
It's you know what? I would actually put it as a good movie. I liked it.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Man.
I thought it was
Highest possible score.
I thought it was very, very stylized. And so I can understand why people wouldn't like it.
Sure.
And also that movie was
But I loved that
completely and totally mismarketed.
Where did you watch
Thank you.
it?
That's the biggest
HBO.
issue I have with that movie.
It's on HBO?
Yeah, it's on HBO.
Oh, I know what I'm going to watch
The movie,
again.
the movie was marketed as a zany sort of ensemble cast
like
of characters that are all
fun-looking
coming
movie.
It looks
together.
kind of heisty.
It's kind of heisty. You don't know. Everyone looks
That
like they're
trailer is
after
still
a
one of my
common
favorites,
goal.
though.
And then Chris Hemsworth there. You're like, what's going on? It is way fucking darker than that. It is a slow, brooding, dark movie that's more close to a Tarantino film than it is
Thank
anything
you.
else.
Interesting.
Very
It is.
much.
If you ever watched Four
I don't like
Rooms,
Tarantino movies.
God, it's crazy.
I don't know if you've ever seen Four Rooms, but it's very much like that. Where
I don't think I have.
It's very much told in vignettes of each character, and it goes back into their past, and then comes back into what brought them to this hotel and what's going on here. And they're all fucked up, and it's all really dark, and it's very, very fucked up.
Oh, man.
But I think it's beautifully directed. I thought it's beautifully shot.
It looks gorgeous.
Chris Hemsworth plays a character that you would not expect.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spoil that for anyone, but he is that's very outside of his ballpark, which I thought was very cool for him to take that role.
He's really good at it.
He's great in it.
I think that's my biggest confusion with that movie is the trailer paints it as such a different movie than it is. Everybody's individual performances in it are really good.
Great.
But there's something about that was the first movie I'd seen in a long time where I got halfway through it and I was like, I have no idea what this movie is about.
And I'm just looking up the cast real quick.
Yeah. Cynthia Erivo.
That's what I
is in
wanted to
it.
say.
She's incredible.
Amazing.
She was in The Color Purple on Broadway. That's where she.
That
got
makes
started.
sense because her voice is amazing in this. But the movie, like, get ready. But the movie is slow. I wouldn't say
Which
slow.
I
It's
normally
brooding.
like.
It is very much about just like. It's a very stylized film, and that's why I think I liked it because I watched it after a very long day, and I was like, I'm just going to sit down and relax and watch this. After what you had talked to me about, I was like, I wasn't expecting it to be plucky.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to be a little bit more like a stage play or more like a modern Tarantino film, which is like, he goes a little longer and lets the scenes go a little longer than they want to because he has great actors and gives them great dialogue.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was very beautifully done. I'm kind of bummed I didn't see that in theaters, truth be told.
I'm really stoked for this then.
I don't know if it would have
I look at it, it's at a 75% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think that tells you all you need to know about it.
But
It's very
no one
polarizing.
talked about it when it came out, though.
I think it came and went. It's Drew Goddard who gave us the, he's worked with Joss Whedon a lot. He did
Cloverfield?
I want to say he did Cabin in the Woods.
There we. Let's look it up.
And he also did Daredevil. I think he was the one that brought Daredevil seasons 1 and 2 on Netflix. I think he was the showrunner for that as well. Very, very. I thought it was great. I'm pleasantly surprised by it.
Cool.
You might fall asleep.
Cabin in the
though.
Woods, The Martian.
I don't know. No, I
Cloverfield.
like slow movies. Well, I'll talk about my stuff
slow
in a
is a
bit.
bad way to say it.
Yeah.
It's methodical.
Yeah.
That's a much better way of doing
Yeah.
it. It's creepy and weird, and it's got parts that you're just like, what the fuck? Like it goes there. So just beware.
Okay.
I think
There's some fucked up shit that happens.
I think that's the best example I have for a movie that I think was also a product of overhype for me, of like both of the trailers that came out were cut so well.
Well, they look like they were gonna be like it was like a fun movie.
Yeah.
Kind of like in some crazy like John Wick like there's a bunch of murderers out there. They're all getting together here for something.
Exactly. You think it's going to be like, I'm trying to think of an analog, but you think it's a comedy. It's not a comedy at all.
Interesting.
Not at all. There's not one comic element in this thing. And that's the sad thing is that you got, when they marketed it, you got Chris Hemsworth walking with his abs and all that stuff. This is more like a fucked up noir comic book is the best way of saying this. I just liked it a lot.
Yeah, I think when I saw the trailer, I read it as it was going to be a thriller, the way that they cut it. And it's very much not. There are like certain parts of it that I guess are kind of like suspenseful, but I don't even really think. I think it's just really dramatic.
I think it's just a fun character study. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like, honestly, what is her name? Cynthia Erivo? Mm-hmm. Watching her and Jeff Bridges act.
Yeah, they're really.
I watch a fucking movie with them in it any day.
Yeah.
2 hours of them. They're great. Then you put John Hamm in it and you're like, okay, you had me at Jeff Bridges and now I'm
What a
100%
cast.
in. Then you got Chris Hemsworth, Dakota Johnson.
Who I really liked in it, and
Who
I
was
don't
great in this.
normally like her.
The guy that plays the bellhop, I don't know
Oh,
that
yeah.
actor's name, but he was fucking amazing.
He was, yeah.
And I think
don't
he needs
know.
to blow up. It's sad that didn't make his career because I don't know
Yeah.
his name, but he was really good. So
It's such a weird movie for me because I was so hyped about it and all this stuff, and I have such conflicting feelings of like, I don't think it was as good as the sum of its parts.
I think that
Or whatever
I came
that-
in with
did I
very
say
low
that right?
expectations because of you,
Yeah.
and that you did me a favor.
Yeah.
No, you did me a favor because
Yeah.
I would have gone to see that movie and been very disappointed with the way they marketed it. I think whatever company was distributing it, looked at it and said, "Hey, we got to pick up the pace on this because this movie is way too slow for modern audiences. So let's sell them a bill of goods that they're not getting." And we
It's
all
like a
walked
bait
in.
and
And
switch.
even the very first scene in the lobby
Yeah.
where everyone pulls in. And you've got that long, wonderful monologue by John Hamm as to what the El Royale is and how
Yeah.
he's selling. He's full of shit. You don't know what his deal is.
Yeah.
But he's like killing everyone with kindness. That goes on way too long, but I
Yeah.
liked it because I was like, oh, it's like a stage play. It's like a play. It's like watching a cool, like, very few movies have the chutzpah to do that these days.
Yeah, I
where they
agree.
just let you be in the scene. Just
Yeah.
stay in the scene with it. Like every movie, scenes have to be like, movies just have to be like, what is the point of this? Is it further the plot or the character development? If it, boom, get it on.
Yeah.
And this one's like, no, it's all characters. Let's stay with these characters. Let's get to know them a little bit. And then when they flip the switch, you're like, oh, fuck, this is weird and fucked up. I just liked it.
That's cool.
I wish that you could do like A/B testing in real life because I wish I could go back and see it without having seen those trailers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
see if I would have liked it more because I think I probably would have.
I think if they'd have cut a trailer that was really like this is a lot more like No Country for Old Men than it is closer
yeah.
to anything else, right?
Yeah.
That needed a trailer like that where you walk in and go, oh, I'm expecting Cormac McCarthy.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting a silly Well, actually, it's kind of like a Tarantino film, but
Yeah.
take out the humor and put in just a lot more just noir.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I think I'm selling this enough for everyone.
I'm also kind of interested to see what in that kind of framing where Once Upon a Time in Hollywood falls. Because it
I
kind
think
of
it's going to be very similar, but I think it's going to
Yeah.
have a lot more humor.
Yeah.
Probably.
He always like puts a lot of fun in his movies.
He's got that Tarantino-esque.
Because even what's the last one that just came out, or the Hateful Eight?
Yeah.
Like that had a lot of like comedic moments that like I thought
had comedic beats,
broke
yeah.
down the like quiet tension that the movie built.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's him in this. So this is sort of like, I was gonna say Shane Blackish, but it's not Shane Blackish. This is more Tarantino-ish. Yeah.
Anything else?
No. Well, I tried watching Night School.
Oh,
It didn't work. For
you
me.
didn't finish it?
No, it
Is
didn't
that
work. for
Tiffany
me.
Haddish?
Yeah, it's Tiffany Haddish and Kevin Hart. And honestly, it's a fun movie. It's very much in the middle of my scale to low of my scale. It just.
But you didn't finish it. I feel like that has
No,
to be in the
because
low
it had
category.
pacing issues.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, I think, really likes the sound of his own voice, and I mean that in the most loving way. A lot of the scenes go on very long. They've got a great group of actors, but a lot of the improv and a lot of the scenes just are a little too long. The movie,
He's working on a Scrooge movie.
excellent. I'll
Yeah.
watch it.
Yeah.
The movie meanders a little bit, but it's fun at parts, and I'll get around to finishing it at some point. I just wish that I could go in and edit some of these movies and be like, because the scenes are funny, but they they just had this tendency to just let them lag for too fucking long.
Were you saying that about another movie this week? And I
Always
was like,
Be My Maybe was what I had. I had a problem with that as well.
So then where do you find the balance between, you said that you liked that El Royale did that, it's just because of the style?
El Royale is a drama, though. El Royale is like or
So
a
it is
thriller,
just a
rather,
style.
I should say. So I expect a thriller to drag out at parts because it's setting me up for the ultimate tension of what's happening in the third act. Does that make sense? So in the third act of this, and I'm not going to spoil it, but when that all happens, that feels like you're like, like it's tense. Whereas with a comedy should be a little bit of heart, a lot of laughs, get me in, get me the fuck out. Okay, if you're doing a comedy about a guy going back and trying to get his GED so that he can marry a girl, and that's the dumb plot of this movie, I want to be in and out. I want to be laughing every maybe like couple minutes, and then get me in and out under 2 hours, dude. I don't need this shit. I don't need anything to be longer
I think
than that.
most
give me like an hour and 30 is good.
yeah,
That's
an
a
hour
sweet
and 30 is
spot.
good for like a dumb comedy.
I mean, a movie about Kevin Hart going to night school and Tiffany Haddish being the teacher, like good. I'm down for an hour and a half of that.
Yeah.
But it just didn't work that well for me.
Interesting.
And Joey.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't do my normal thing when
It's
I said
fine.
to Nick's right, my left.
It's fine.
Joey,
But
one
you
of the
just did
movie
it
bros herself.
Oh, hey, I'm
Noelle,
back.
how you doing, bud?
I'm good. I took notes because I'm really bad at
Oh,
forgetting
all
what I
right.
watch, even though it's not that many
Yay.
things. First thing, I finished the first season of Big Little Lies, which I thought I had watched, and it turns out that I have not watched it. Holy crap, that was so good.
Yeah?
You haven't watched it yet?
No, it's one of those shows that like I'm like, this is too depressing to watch.
I don't
Paula
think-
watches
yeah.
it around me.
I watched a preview of that show, and I was like, what the fuck is this about?
It's very.
Wait, is this where's this on?
This is HBO.
Big Little
HBO.
Lies is,
This is
that's
the one
Reese
with,
This has
Witherspoon,
like
Shailene
the
Woodley.
incredible
Okay,
cast.
yeah,
of
It's the one
people.
that just came back for season 2 and
Yeah.
Meryl Streep's in it.
Nicole Kidman's in it?
Yes.
Kidman's in as well, yeah.
That's the one where every once in a while I'd be like, what's happening? And she's like, oh, he beats his wife. And I was just like, it sounds really, that's a lot.
It's really good. I'm really excited. So on Monday, G and I are watching the rest of them. They're doing this like event at Alamo Draft House.
Oh,
so
cool.
I'm really excited to like.
Wait,
'cause
is
I
it the
haven't-
whole season?
No,
Or-
it's just the first 2 episodes, which
Oh, that's
will
awesome.
both be
Yeah,
out
yeah,
by
yeah.
then. But it's like Draft House does those
Yeah,
like
yeah,
fun
yeah.
like
Why
screener
not?
things.
Oh my god! By the way,
so good.
Draft House. Sorry, not sequitur. They're doing a screening of The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, which is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Are you gonna go?
I kind of want to go.
I love all the like weird like Tuesday night.
I feel like
movies
you
that they
talk
do.
about going all the time, but never go.
They're always weird times.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It is a Tuesday night at like 8 o'clock.
work
and I do
weird
shit.
jobs.
I
Yeah.
do shit
You
that
know?
time.
On Netflix, I watched the show called this movie called I Am Mother. So weird. Last time I was on, I talked about Perfection being like this weird Netflix movie that I'm not really quite sure if anybody should watch, and I feel like this definitely falls in that same category. It's
Yeah, this looks bad.
weird, but it wasn't. I'm not mad that I watched it, but
Would
it's
you
just,
recommend people watch it?
Probably not.
Interesting.
Netflix, I think, is having a little bit of an identity crisis right now with some of
Yeah.
its original programming.
I think it's more that Netflix is having an experimental phase where they're
Like, let's see what works.
really trying weird shit. And it's like, because you don't know what's going to be a cult hit. And with things like Netflix, being that everyone has it, and if something becomes a cult hit, it could explode. right?
Sure. But I feel like they've had a lot, for me at least, a lot of very misses or near misses that I don't see them being the innovators that they once were, and
Yeah.
that frightens me. And I think that's a direct response to, or a direct outcome from all the other streaming services coming in and like invading their shit. I don't see them. I can't think of like what is the top Netflix show right now?
Show or movie?
Show.
or,
Yeah.
or movie. Like what's a movie that we're very
Can you
excited
look at
about?
the chat, see what they're talking about?
Yeah, that's the thing is like I just
Yeah,
don't know. Like,
I'm
I'm not
not-
excited about that. I'm excited about the Disney platform because they got a lot of cool stuff coming to that. But with Netflix, I'm just like, maybe they're old hat to me at this point.
But I feel like Disney's going to have a bunch of old stuff, and
Yeah.
their new stuff is going to be like staggered out and not.
Everyone's saying Stranger Things,
Stranger Things is
yeah,
good.
that's a good point. And Narcos. Okay.
Black Mirror,
Okay,
which I
okay,
didn't
okay.
love this last season. I watched that too.
Yeah.
I thought it was very fine.
Did you finish all 3 episodes?
Yeah. The first one was kind of good. The video game, stylistically, I thought it was really cool. They were all, I feel like, yeah, I don't know. There's something different about the last few that they've put out compared to the earlier seasons. I don't really know what it is. It's also only 3 episodes, which was kind of weird, but it was fine.
Well, they're longer, right? Or were they always an hour?
I think they're always an hour, like 40 to an hour maybe.
Paul and I watched the last episode of season 4 because we hadn't watched that one yet, and I was like, "It's good." This.
What's the last one of season 4?
That's the one with I think it was Black Museum.
Oh yeah, I liked that one.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it tied everything,
Right.
other stuff together, kind of subtly.
And it just kind of gives you a hint that like maybe there's a world here and it's not just a total random anthology. So that's another thing I'm planning to watch this weekend is season 5. There's only 3 episodes. We'll knock that out
it's
real
pretty
quick.
easy to get through. And then the last thing that I really liked was the Chef Show on Netflix.
That's Jon Favreau's thing, right?
Yeah, it's
That looks fun.
incredible.
That looks
if you
fun.
like Chef, the movie, it's very similar. They like pull different places that they go in the movie.
Do they
And
have-
Favreau is just really fun.
What's that?
Favreau is just really fun.
Yeah, you forget he came from comedy,
Right?
You forget he came from Swingers, and like he was Gutter on PCU. Like he's a comedic, like he's a fun guy.
Yeah.
And it's what I like about that show is he's essentially like what we do. But like where we bring our friends on to do stupid shit with us all the time, except his friends are like Gwyneth Paltrow and Robert Downey Jr.
Did you see the
and
one
the
with
entire
Gwyneth
cast
Paltrow?
of all the? I saw a clip from there where she forgot she was in Spider-Man.
And like I totally get that.
Oh, I totally get it
That's
too.
one of those
Because they
things like
record all that stuff back to back to back.
Yeah,
well, no,
she-
also she's never cared about the MCU, and
I don't think it's a matter of caring. I think, sure, she
does
probably
cameos
She
in most
probably
of the-
doesn't
yeah.
look at it with the same regard as she does like Shakespeare in Love when she was in that movie, because that movie garnered Academy Award nominations and I think some wins. But
think it won.
I give her the benefit of the doubt on this one because you recorded. It probably was a day shoot for her a long time ago. She probably has no idea where that fit in. And it was a cameo at the end of the movie. It wasn't like she was a main character.
Yeah.
So like that was a funny. He was like, yeah, you were in Spider-Man. She's like, no, I wasn't. Oh, right, I was. Okay.
You
I
make
thought
the
it was
cute.
point.
I thought it was
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
And they bring in like interesting people, like Bill Burr's in for an episode, Gwyneth Paltrow. There's this guy
I'll
named
start watching
Andrew Ray who runs a YouTube channel called Binging with Babish. That's really
yeah,
good.
dude, that's such a great channel.
And then when they do the recipe, and then it's the Roy from who started the Kogi truck, who's like his like part. It's the two of them in every episode.
That's cool.
But what's really cool is the like interstitials kind of between like or transitions are in this like almost like stop animation clay style of like the truck driving through stuff, and like the way that they animate the dishes of like the dish kind of like hits the plate and then it explodes and it shows you all the ingredients. All that stuff is just super cool.
I love it.
I'm
What is
super
the
into
show
it.
called?
It's called The Chef Show.
The Chef Show.
And they very much talk about in the show of like, yeah, we just started recording this and we have no idea what it's
Yeah,
going to be. And we're just going with it. But
That's
it's
fun.
really fun. I think there's like 5 or 6 episodes.
John, if you're watching the show, we utilize that same strategy, and it's worked out pretty okay for us too. Just kind of not knowing where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just figuring out
Disaster.
what it is when you get there.
Oh my god! Not total non sequitur the other day. I don't even know if this is a new Taylor Swift song, but I'm assuming it's the new Taylor Swift song. That sounds a lot like MIA, which is weird. But they did someone on her channel did a word graphic of it, so it's all the words coming up and like infographic style, like
yeah.
What is that
animation.
called? That has a name.
I forget.
Typography or
Yeah,
something?
it's like it's fucking dope.
It's so
and I was gonna
cool.
put it on Internet Explorers next week. I don't love the song, but the way whoever animated it, I'm like, this is fucking cool. This is really
the
well
one that
done.
she does with the Panic at the Disco dude.
Sure. It's the one that's totally. It's like the beat sounds exactly like an
called
MMA
Me.
song, or MIA song.
I don't know. I know that she just came out with like a new one like yesterday.
I've heard it a million times, but I don't know what it's called.
I'm sure
Greg
people in
Miller.
the chat know what it is.
Cool.
And then the last
Oh,
thing.
you need to calm down is what it's called.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah.
No, I don't know that one.
Last thing I saw was Men in Black. But
Yeah.
we can talk about that. You want to talk about that now?
Yeah. Let me get through the stuff that I've
Yeah.
watched, then we'll talk about it. So I restarted Scrubs.
Oh, love it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I really enjoy that show.
I'm sorry. I forgot to mention. I've also started watching The Simpsons again.
Oh,
which is fun.
Oh.
Yeah, I forget. So I think it was you that mentioned that it's on FX, and you just go.
I believe the app.
It's annoying because I have FXX. I do it through Comcast, and
Yeah.
they make you watch the stupid commercials.
Yeah.
But I watched an episode last night. I think it was the first episode of season 29, and it was a Game of Thrones spoof. And I'm like, I forgot how fucking funny this show still is. It was literally, there was a point where like Krusty the Clown has like herpes, but the herpes talk. It's horrifyingly funny. Sorry, I apologize. Scrubs.
okay.
Had you not seen Scrubs before? You're
No,
rewatching
I've
it?
seen it. I'm rewatching it.
Great
We
show.
started episode with season 1, like
Oh, wow.
actually a full rewatch, and I think right now we're on like like we're on the last episode of that season, so and it's 22 episodes a season, so
They're short. They're like
yeah,
20
they
minutes,
go
yeah?
pretty quick. It's 22 minutes.
Scrubs is worth it for one person and one person only. John C. McGinley, who plays the head doctor, who calls him Dancy all the time.
Yeah.
He's so fucking funny. You'll remember him, of
Wait,
course.
is that Cox, Dr. Cox?
Dr. Cox, yeah.
Okay, because I really like is it Bob Kelso?
Yeah.
Bob Kelso's the administrator?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
the best.
Them back and forth
Who's
when
got
they
2
rip on
thumbs
each
and
other.
doesn't give a fuck?
This guy. I love, of course, John C. McGinley. The first time I remember seeing him was he played the FBI director in Point Break. And he was awesome
Of
as that.
course.
Awesome
It
as that.
always comes back to Point Break.
All roads lead to Point Break,
Or
ladies and
Roadhouse.
gentlemen. Oh, I watched that last weekend too.
Barrett, do you have something?
I just wanted to add
Get
on
close on that mic.
watching Scrubs, and yeah, like the
On a
janitor.
shared Hulu account?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so you're on season 3.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
yeah.
just started season 4, I think. Yeah, like I love the janitor. Like there's the episode where JD notices the janitor is like also like in like an 80s action movie, and he's actually
Yep.
in that movie.
Yep.
He's like, what? Like,
Do you know that in the first season they were planning to make the
make
janitor
him like an imaginary,
character at
yeah,
JD's head?
Who? Which one?
The janitor?
janitor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, it's so much better
Yeah.
that he's not.
If you notice in that first season, he doesn't interact with anyone but JD.
Really?
Yeah. But
Oh,
then they switched.
interesting.
They changed their mind, and thank God, because he's
Yeah.
Their relationship,
He's
those
such a
two,
good character.
because they're them playing the foil against each other
Yeah.
and them being just dicks to each other is so good.
Yeah.
That guy, that actor's great.
And then yeah, Dr. Cox is amazing. One of the recent episodes I watched is where his best friend, who is his ex-wife's brother, dies. And it's this,
That's such a tough episode.
one of the most heartbreaking
Because
episodes
the way it
ever.
ends, it's like, where do you think we are?
Yeah. And they're
My daughter's party.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's like, no, you're at your best friend's funeral,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's gonna be real sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, like going like back to the janitor, where like it kind of ends where they're all friends. They go to his wedding in like Hawaii and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it's so nice. I love that show.
I want to give a quick shout out to some people in the chat right now, namely Panzer G2, who says the new Men in Black is out.
Yeah.
Question mark?
It came out yesterday.
It came out
Comes out
yesterday.
in the United States.
It's out this
Or,
weekend.
I'm sorry, today.
And
Yeah.
I will be very, very well. First off, I'm very fascinated. excuse me, to hear both of your opinions on it. That movie, I have seen the trailers multiple times, and man, it just looks boring.
We'll get into that in a second. Let me just finish these 2 other things that I watched. Is What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh,
The
yeah.
FX show.
The show.
The show.
How is it?
It's pretty good. If you
Yeah.
like the movie, it's that kind of stretched out for a
Okay.
season.
Okay.
And the season isn't very long. I want to say it's like 6 episodes. It might be 10.
Love it.
But the guy that plays
6 episodes for everything, please.
The guy that plays
Darby, or what's his name? Darby something or other. He's not in it, right? The guy that was like the head of the wolves, the werewolves.
I don't think
Oh, he's
so.
in the new movie.
They
about
didn't do the
werewolves.
movie.
Oh, I
They
thought
haven't done
okay.
it. It doesn't sound like they're going to
Reese
do
Darby is the guy's
We
name,
Are
I think.
Wolves.
We Are Wolves. God
Yeah.
damn it, they need to do that movie.
Werewolves.
They're so. Have you seen What We Do in the Shadows?
No, but I need to
Dude.
because
It's
I
on
love,
Netflix, I think.
Because
Yeah.
it's what's his name from Flight of the Conchords, right?
It's yeah, I forget the guy's name, but he's Jerome, right? Or
Jermaine.
Jermaine in Flight of the Conchords.
And I love that, so I know that I just
but
need
it's
to watch
Taika
it.
Waititi.
And I know that I need to watch it. I
fucking
just
hilarious.
haven't ever.
Yeah, you should
gotten to
definitely.
it.
And then Reese
I'd
Darby is
say
the werewolf.
watch the movie first, and then
Yeah.
watch the show because, like, the end of the
Just watch
show,
the
there's a
movie.
couple
It's so
things where you're
good.
like,
It ties back a little
like,
bit.
yeah, kind of,
Vaguely.
yeah.
The thing about What We Do in the Shadows, not to lament too much on this because I know we got lots of news stories, but it's like watching a troupe of people who have done improv together for so long that they're just near perfect.
They're
It hits
so good.
so well. It is very
I'm
much
gonna
their
look
style.
up where it's streaming.
It's very much their style. So like if you,
Which I like.
So it's the Thor Ragnarok, but slightly more subdued, a lot more subtle style. But it takes a little while to get into. I would say it takes a good 20 to 30 minutes to get into. But once you do, and once they get to the werewolves, it's just fucking funny. It's just so
Yeah.
fucking funny. Those
I
guys are
feel like
badasses.
If you like that, like dry,
It's very
British
dry
humor.
No, it's New
Or-
Zealand.
Right, you're right.
Like,
Yeah.
There's dry British humor, which I would say actually is a lot more dry than the New Zealand. New Zealand humor is like, it's British humor, but they're kind of making fun of that dryness a little bit.
Yeah. I like
they're-
Flight of
they're-
the Conchords. Like, I've liked all the stuff that he's done before.
It's very Flight of the Conchords. It's very
It's not streaming on any service.
oh, it's too bad. It was on Netflix for so long.
But it is $4, and I
It's
honest
worth
to
the rental.
God recommend
Worth the rental.
spending the
Watch
$4.
Pacific Rim too.
No,
I told Liz
don't
to
waste your
watch.
time. All right, now let's talk about Men in Black. Me
right.
and Joey yesterday went to watch Men in Black.
We did.
I was very excited because I'm a huge Men in Black fan. Love all of the movies. I don't know that I love the
2
third
is terrible.
one. I like 2.
2 is terrible.
I like 2, and that seems like your opinion. You know what I mean? And
Two
it's
was
wrong.
two was watchably bad. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest and say that I only really remember the first one.
And that's the best one.
Yeah.
For sure.
I will give a shout out to the third one. I thought Josh Brolin as a young Tommy Lee Jones did a great. The third one had no
I like the way it
was good.
connected everything.
I thought it was really fun because
Yeah.
he gets to go back in the past. He gets to buddy up with Josh Brolin, who's got a lot more energy to bring into it. I thought that was really, really cool and very well done. And honestly, Will Smith is just so fucking fun to watch.
He really is.
And I don't get me wrong, I love Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, but there's a reason why Will Smith is a megastar. And you go back and watch even Men in Black 3, you're like, God
Really?
damn, he's
Chris
so fucking
Hemsworth
good.
is a megastar?
I think he is, but he's no Will Smith. I'm sorry,
That's-
Chris. If you're
that's
watching,
very
He
true.
does
I'm
have a
sorry.
musical career.
I'm sorry, Chris.
And the Fresh Prince stuff backing. You know?
So for our spoiler-free review that we're going to do, I just want to say, man, this movie was it was okay the entire way through.
whole lot of okay,
and,
huh?
And to me, that like puts it in the bad category,
Yeah.
where it's like, with the cast that it has Kumail, it's got Chris Hemsworth and
Liam
Tessa
Neeson.
Thompson, Liam Neeson.
Emma, not Emma.
Yeah, it is Emma.
That's right, yeah.
Emma Thompson.
Emma
so
Thompson.
close.
I want to see Emma
No, but what's
Watson,
the,
but it's Emma Thompson
the older
Emma
lady?
Thompson.
Emma Thompson.
Oh,
with the cool blonde hair.
right. Okay, and I'm saying Tessa. Okay,
Tessa Thompson, Emma Thompson.
not related.
Not related.
No relation.
No relation.
But
maybe
like,
relation. I don't know.
It's a hell of a cast, and it's just. I think that the direction maybe was
Who
bad.
directed it? It's not
was
Barry Sonnenfeld, right?
Gary.
Oh, F. Gary Gray?
That's
Yeah.
it. That's the one.
Oh, that's too bad.
Gary- Gary is where you went with
that's what
that.
I said it wrong when we were talking about one of his
Okay.
movies that was coming out.
Wow, that's too bad. He's really good.
Italian
F. Gary
job.
Gray, of course, did Friday and then also did Straight Outta Compton, right?
But the comedy's just
I
the
laughed
whole
once in the entire movie.
and like she wasn't an outlier.
No.
It was quiet almost the entire time.
There were so many jokes that they said that I knew I was supposed to laugh,
Right.
and I didn't, and that whole theater was just.
I'm telling
And
you right
that's the
now,
thing,
like, you can tell from the previews that the timing of all the humor is just not there. Like,
And
there's
the
not
things
one
that they
laugh
showed
in the
were
preview.
the funniest things in the movie.
they were
and
absolutely
they weren't even
the
that
funniest
funny.
part.
It's like, are you telling me we're going to play with the most dangerous weapon in the universe for fun? Yeah. Like, that's as funny as it gets. I'm not seeing this movie
Yeah.
in theaters.
No,
Sorry.
I don't. I think this is a skippable movie. 100%.
I absolutely think it's skippable.
That is-
I even would go as far as saying like, if it's on Netflix, find something better.
Don't watch it.
No,
wow.
I think this
wow.
is skippable on everything.
Yeah.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
It really is. It like again, if you watch it, it's a fine, it's okay. But like Men in Black, I feel like
You
it could
expect
have been
like a
so
level
easy
of
for
fun.
them to do a little bit better.
Well, here's the deal. If you go, if for anyone listening, you haven't seen the original Men in Black,
You should go do that instead.
It's one of the. I'll put it up there as like, I don't want to say top 10 comedies of all time, but it's a really, really good movie. And it's really, really creative and it's really inventive and it was doing something new back in the day. Barry Sonnenfeld, you got Will Smith coming in, still fresh in his career, killing it. So this is Will Smith that was like, I'm going to be awesome in this movie and also do the soundtrack for this movie. That
I
kind of
miss
Will
that.
Smith. I miss
I
that
hope
Will
we
Smith.
get a song for Gemini
We
Man.
all missed that.
We're not going to get a song for Gemini Man.
Give us a song for Gemini
I'm
Man.
Gemini Man. Go back and watch the original trilogy. It's really good. This one probably skippable from what it sounds though.
Yeah, this was like the most meh movie I feel like I've seen in a while. I wouldn't say that it's. I thought The Hustle was bad. I think this is just
The Hustle
meh.
was like offensively bad.
Which one was The Hustle?
The Hustle is the
Rebel Wilson and
Anne Hathaway.
Oh Jesus, that movie looked like a fucking train wreck.
Yeah,
And
it
it
was
sure
bad.
was.
Why would you
It
see
was.
that?
because we have movie
Bros.
pass.
Movie
You
Bros,
guys
you know?
are.
We
You
saw
guys, they're
3
never getting
movies
this
that
time
day.
back. You're never getting
We
this
saw
time
3
back.
movies that day, and like 2 of them were
pretty
good.
Maybe y'all should start paying for movies again. I'm just saying you got to be a little less liberal with your time. here. A
No,
little bit more.
I love
I
going to
genuinely
movies.
like the first Men in Black, so I was excited for this because I like their dynamic.
Yeah.
I also didn't think that they had great chemistry
Which
in this
is
movie.
weird.
Because they do, obviously.
And
in
that's why I feel like
Thor.
it has to be like the director.
In the
Maybe.
writing also
Because
not
we've
good.
seen these people paired together and like it's good. Like there are moments where you're like, oh man, look, he brought her back from being like wildly depressed and an alcoholic, and she's bringing him back from like, well, I guess no, he
don't
he,
spoil
he was in
anything.
the same.
No,
it doesn't
this-
matter.
we're talking about
I feel like
Thor.
here's the deal. I feel like Men in Black need 2 elements. Okay, you need Barry Sonnenfeld and you need Will Smith. And I guess you could throw in an aging Tommy Lee Jones if you want there. But man, I just want them to do Men in Black, another one with Will Smith and Josh Brolin again somehow. Like bring old, new, like young Tommy Lee Jones character, Agent K, Agent J, whatever, back from the past and let them
do some weird time travel shit.
I think I think Will Smith was Jay, right?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, man, you just like there's a swagger to Men in Black, and that came with Will Smith. When he walks out in the black suit for the first time, he goes, "You know the difference between you and me is I make this look good."
Yeah.
That's a fucking top 100 line.
But you're telling me you don't think Chris Hemsworth has that?
No, I think Chris Hemsworth has the potential to have that when a good director like Taika Waititi brings it. But name one other film that he was in like before Thor Ragnarok where he has that charisma, right? He
arguably he does kind of in Bad Times.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But that's why I think it has to be like a writing direction issue.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he's just in this movie, he's just like,
because you know what else I watched recently with him in it?
Cabin in the Woods.
12 Strong.
Oh, Cabin in the Woods.
And it was fucking bad.
I don't know anything about
12
that.
Strong is an action movie based off of like the first team to go into Afghanistan after 9/11. And it is just a fucking terrible idea from the get-go.
This doesn't sound familiar to me at all.
Not good, and he is not good in it. And I'm like, this is one of those movies that you're just like, this is almost a travesty of how much of a money grab this movie is. It's not good.
Oh.
Yeah,
this
not
looks
a lot
vaguely familiar.
It's like Michael Pena's in it. It's got a great cast, but they were like, let's make it's like Navy SEAL, like an updated Navy SEALs, except using real world events like 9/11. And it just feels kind of like they're really taking advantage of that situation.
Solid 6.6 on IMDb.
It's not good.
Yeah, the only thing that he was in there before being in like MCU was Star Trek.
Yeah, for a hot second.
For a hot
And he
second.
filmed Cabin in the Woods before all of that.
What
shit.
an
They just didn't
interesting
release it until
thing,
later.
though, because if you remember correctly, it was between him and Chris Pine to see who was going to get Kirk.
Yeah.
And he got Kirk's dad. And then they were going to make a story, I think, where he came back as Kirk's dad. And then everyone's like, oh, that sucks for Chris Hemsworth because now his career is going to suck. And then he got Thor, and then Thor came out and was like, oh. He got
Thor
the shit
2
end of
came
that
out,
thing. And everyone was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
But now look at him.
Yeah.
Chris, I always
world.
believed in both of you, both the Pine and the Hemsworths.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I'd probably skip Men in Black.
Yeah, I honestly, and it's sad. Another thing that to me was totally shocking is Kumail's character. I did not enjoy.
Too
It
much.
looks annoying.
Too much.
It
That
was,
character looks like he does not
30%
need to
too
be
much.
in the movie at all.
But like, I feel
I like that they had a
could
little
have done that.
sidekick.
Yeah.
Well, they wanted to do the I forget what the name of the aliens were in the first three. The guys that were
worms.
drinking
Little
coffee.
worms.
Yeah. I think they wanted a character
But
like
those
that.
are only in like a few scenes.
That's why you got to have like Viennese. You know, like you have to
Well,
have
they
them
wanted
very
to-
sparingly.
They wanted to do like the little dog that kind of goes with them a little bit.
Cheech Marin, the pug.
Yeah, the cute
Yeah.
little pug.
Was
guy.
that Cheech Marin?
I think it was Cheech. Yeah.
Huh.
I want to say.
I'm learning all these new things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
I
sure it
feel
was
like if
Cheech.
he was in 30% less of the movie, I would have probably
Well,
liked
I
him
just
more.
feel like all of his jokes were delivered weirdly. Like, I didn't like the tone that he had. This like nonchalant, I don't care about anything
Yeah.
tone the entire time.
you know, now that I think about it, he was trying to be like, they wanted it to be like a little baby Groot. Is probably kind of what the dynamic that they were looking for.
That makes sense with it looking super cute.
But
Little cute boy.
Groot is great because Groot doesn't really talk.
Yeah, he's got the one line.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't recommend going to watch Men in Black. I'm still saying, like, if you're gonna go to the theaters, try to watch Booksmart. It's the best
Booksmart's
movie that's
so
out
good.
there.
Fuck yeah, go see Booksmart. If you
Yeah.
haven't seen Booksmart, do that. Support that movie. It is a great film. That Booksmart's my favorite movie of the year so far.
wow.
And I mean, of course, Endgame's out there as well. But like, I mean, like indie movie, like movie, not mega blockbuster. Booksmart's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Was it an A24 movie?
It was either A24 or Annapurna,
I
but I think it was A24.
Annapurna.
Let me look.
I thought it was Annapurna.
It's
Annapurna.
Annapurna.
Both
Thank
of
you.
those
Yeah.
doing great work.
You should double check. Barrett doesn't know a lot of things.
Barrett knows Barrett knows his Annapurna. Let's put it that way.
All right. Well,
does that
now
mean?
time for a little housekeeping.
Everyone knows what it means.
No Patreon producer this month still because you guys
That's not
don't
how-
want to support us.
Yeah, but it's not. They can't support us now.
I know, but I'm trying to give them shit so that we
Okay.
have like 4 Patreon producers next month.
Okay.
You know, you got to
Yeah.
believe in it. And this show is brought to you by our sponsors. This week it's Liquid IV and Upstart.
Love it.
Now it's time for some news.
News.
All right.
Just trailed it off
That
there
was
for
great. Dare I say that was the best news jingle we've heard so far on
like
this
the
show.
news.
Always have a news.
I'm just trying to hurt Barrett's feelings.
Oh no! Hey,
Oh, he actually threw
At
it.
the TV?
at the TV, right at the TV.
That would come out of your paycheck.
yeah.
No, that's not
and
true.
Kevin's paycheck, probably.
What?
It's your
Why is
show.
that my
Because
fault?
it's a shared responsibility. This is your show
It's
as
a
well.
two-way street.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
It's all good.
It's fine.
Fuck you, Kevin.
Yeah. Our first exciting news story.
Oh, this is always fun because I don't know what you're ever going to throw at us.
Do you not have the doc?
No.
Did I just? Okay. All right. I'll
gotta,
share it with you.
You gotta
shortly.
put the link of the doc in above the trailers. I looked at it because I'm a professional, but Joey doesn't understand.
I think I'll just share
'cause
it
you
with
don't
her and
give
she'll
me
be all
all
good. All
the
right. The
tools.
the first news story. The Swiss theater replaced its seats with beds.
Oh, this is very exciting.
Yeah.
Nap time?
Well, no. Don't fall asleep. Just super comfy time.
But like, can I sleep through the trailers?
Yes. I mean, you
Okay.
can sleep through whatever you want, I guess.
Yeah.
Like just quietly walked away to blow his nose, I think.
fine.
Or beat up Barrett. Cinema Path. It's got a E with a little umlaut over it. So I don't know. Path A?
Is it an
It's-
or it's an accent?
I don't know. It's an accent.
It's an accent aigu. For all you French
Oh,
speakers
look
out
at
there.
you.
I think that's it. Maybe it's Grove, I don't remember.
Has set up a VIP room theater, replacing boring old movie theater chairs with big, comfy beds. The beds come equipped with 2 pillows and an electronically adjustable headrest. They change the sheets after every screening. Guests can put on a pair of slippers and sip wine from bedside.
Are you allowed to fuck in these things?
Nope.
It's still
The
a
Those are a lot of
CEO.
the CEO was like, "We've experimented in other countries, and no one's done anything bad, so we
Sure.
think it's gonna work
Yeah,
out."
nobody's gotten
Where is
finger
this?
blasted on one of these beds yet.
In Switzerland.
Switzerland.
And I can't pronounce that name of that city. Spreitenbach?
Spreitenbach, yeah.
Spreitenbach, Switzerland.
I want to go to Switzerland.
The only thing is the tickets, $48.
$300 a piece.
$48.
48 Swiss dollars. What's that?
I think, do they not use the euro? I think they use the euro.
Is it 48 euro?
No, it said $48, so I think they
Okay.
converted it already
Got it.
to
Yeah,
dollars.
I don't think I want to pay
Um,
that much money to sit in a bed that other people have
It's-
also laid in.
Well, but it's new sheets, so it's like
I
a
guess
hotel.
like a hotel, yeah.
Yeah. $48 a little steep. Would I do it for like the novelty of it just once?
Would I do it for like a long ass movie like Endgame? Probably.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool.
I don't like laying
Do you
down
think
that
that'll
much,
ever
though.
come here?
So right now they're not planning on it, but like I really hope they do because that seems really cool. Like if AMD
Seems
or
like a lot
AMC
of
had
work.
that. Cool, Greg.
Yo.
Can you do me a favor and click on the first link on that story? Because I want to pull it up. I'm sorry. I should have pulled the graphic for you guys so you could see. Because it looks incredible. It is.
Also, 2 pillows, not enough.
What?
If
How
I want to
many
be
pillows
super
do you
cozy.
want?
I love pillows. I have
Nicholas, you
no
seen
less
this?
than 6 pillows on my bed for just me.
That's ridiculous.
That's awesome.
That's pretty amazing.
That's
I
awesome.
love that it's a small theater too.
Yeah.
So you don't have like 17 million people in there.
Thank you, Cool Greg.
It looks very cozy.
I'm all about that though. I know that
But
like is
here's-
it going too far? Yeah,
Here's
maybe.
my question for you though.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that those side table lights stay on the whole movie and you're going to have an issue like
Yeah,
on the
Kevin's
Draft
gonna
House?
hate those things.
I really hope not.
He's gonna
That would be a
hate
problem.
them.
That'd
That
be
would
a game changer.
that would be a game ruiner.
Yeah.
And also, I've started doing this thing. I didn't do it yesterday, but I've been doing it the last 2 times, where I take a blanket to the theaters.
Is that too far?
I mean, I'm keeping my shoes on, which I feel like if I take off my shoes, that's when it's like, sir, you don't live here, you know? But I like pulling. I got the kind of funny, you know, the
Yeah.
blanket, and I pull it out and I roll it up, put it on myself, and I just eat little snacks. It's great because we've been doing such long movie. Like
I know.
when I went to watch Endgame last week with my little brother, and then afterwards Dark Phoenix. That's what I did. That was just my go-to plan.
I don't know if it's socially acceptable to just bring blankets places yet.
No one's even looked at me a little judgy.
Well, it's a dark movie theater.
Exactly.
They're definitely
They don't know
probably
what we're
judging
doing under
you.
the blanket, right, Nick?
I mean, finger blast. Boom.
There it is.
Brown to brown.
Jesus.
This.
Usually
I'll
I just
be-
bring it for Paula because she gets cold.
Yeah.
But
Are we-
like the last 2 movie times I went to the theaters, I wasn't with her. So
So
I
you
was
just
like, well,
brought
I
them
guess
for
I'll
you?
use this for myself.
I'll be interested to see if they ever bring it to the States or if this becomes like a widespread thing. 'Cause
I don't think it will.
I don't think it just seems way too expensive for it to be like a normal like date night thing
How
or
much would
whatever.
you pay for it?
How much would I? Also, if I'm going to the movies by myself, I don't want to share this weird bed thing with somebody else.
Well, that's why I think it's $48. I think you get both.
Oh. How much would I pay for it? I mean, I don't know that I necessarily would. I'm trying to, like, I feel like it would have to be very specific movies that are like long.
Yeah. Nick, would you do this?
No.
No?
Don't need it.
Not even if you could go with Andy?
What's that?
So not even if you could go with Andy?
The chairs recline enough right now in modern theaters. I don't need a bed.
Sure.
We're good. Plus, I don't need to spend $48 on any of these fucking movies. There's very few movies that are worth even the $14 or $15 that I'm spending.
But right now, if it is the 2 seats, like right now,
that's what, $24 a piece.
Yeah,
it's $2 more than Dolby.
I thought it was $48 for one seat.
He thinks it's $48 for the pair.
Because they said you get 2 pillows.
Oh, well, if that's fair.
And in the picture, there was 2 pillows on it.
I don't know that the story needs more explanation. I think we could probably move on.
All right. Moving on then. I think it's good news, but it's also a little upsetting. The Good Place will be ending with season 4.
I like The Good Place. I kind of appreciate shows that are like, hey, we're just going to end this here and we're not going to keep this story going if we don't have any idea of what direction it's going in.
Kind of feel like it's already hit that point with season 3.
I don't know. I'll be interested to see how they wrap it all up.
That's the thing. I enjoy A Good Place. Seasons 2 and 3 were not nearly as good as season 1.
I think it's hard to follow it up.
Yeah.
I liked season 2. Season 3 I haven't finished yet. Have you watched any of it?
No. I mean,
like you would like it.
Dee watches it because I think she liked The Good Wife a lot. And I know this is an offshoot of that, right?
No.
Which one's this?
This is Ted
it's
Danson.
The Good Fight, I'm thinking. I have no idea what this show is.
Ted
then.
Danson, Kristen Bell. She gets sent to heaven.
Oh,
when they think that
no,
she's
I have
someone
not
else.
watched that. I
think you would
apologize.
like it.
I don't think you would.
You know what's weird? Okay, here's how weird I am. I like Kristen Bell.
Yeah.
But I just don't like that Dax Shepard that much. And I know
He's not in it.
I know, but they're married. And it just throws me off.
So you just don't want to... No, good enough.
You know?
Does Ted Danson being in it?
Ted Danson is really good
Swap
in it.
that out.
Okay, so here's the deal with Ted Danson, right? This is how weird I am.
Who is he married to now?
No, I love Ted Danson.
But I hate Lil Dancer.
No, I'm sad.
Tiny Dancer, Tiny Dancer.
That they...
It's Tony Danza.
I'm joking around.
What the hell are you talking about? They're two different people. I'm sad that they didn't do
Another 3 Men and a Little Baby.
No, well, yeah, definitely. But no, I'm sad they didn't do that HBO show he was on with Jason Schwartzman. Dead Like You.
Dead Like Me?
No, fuck. What was it called? It was a really, really good show I liked where he started being a private eye.
Oh.
He was a writer, but he wanted to become a private investigator. And Ted Danson
He write
plays
like mystery movies or mystery
No,
novels?
he wrote op-eds for like the New Yorker, a magazine like that. And Ted Danson was his boss, like this extravagantly rich guy, but they were like friends. But he was also his boss. Anyway, it was Zach Galifianakis was in it. Oh, damn it. The chat's going to probably tell me who it is right now.
Probably.
What's it called? It was really good. Oh, Bored to Death is what it was called. And they only did like 3 seasons and no one liked it but me. And then they stopped doing it.
3 seasons not a little bit either, though.
Yeah,
was
that's
good.
like a
I like that
significant
show.
amount for a show that nobody likes.
He just decides he wants to be a private investigator. So he just starts taking cases and he's way out of his depth. And it's super fun.
So other than that, that's the only vendetta you have.
I watched it and it's weird. And also it reminds me of like the Santa Clara diet. I'm like, I don't want to watch that fucking show either.
I have a feeling you wouldn't like this show.
Really?
So, yeah, I really don't think Nick. But it's on Hulu, so if you want to watch it in the United States.
Nick is such a wild card of like what you will and
I feel
won't
like you're going to watch like 3 episodes and be like, I hate it.
Yeah.
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 All
right. Now it's time for some ads. All right. Our first ad is Liquid IV.
Yeah.
Liquid IV is the fastest, most efficient way to stay hydrated. Trying to drink more water? Liquid IV hydrates you 2 to 3 times faster and more efficiently than water alone, with an added bonus of vitamin C, B3, B5, B6, and everybody's favorite B12. Liquid IV helps prevent jet lag when traveling, TSA friendly, and is perfect for on-the-go travelers. Helps to keep your skin hydrated while flying. Can be used before, during, and after flights. Staying properly hydrated is one of the most important factors during music festivals. Perfect ways to fight those nasty hangover symptoms. All Liquid IV products utilize the cellular transport technology, a specific ratio of glucose, which is pure cane sugar, sodium, mined salts, and potassium. When mixed with 16 ounces of water, It helps your body absorb more of the water and nutrients you drink directly into your bloodstream. No GMOs, vegan and free of gluten, dairy, and soy. Clean ingredients that can provide the same hydration as drinking 2 to 3 bottles of water. It's healthy alternative to traditional sugary sports drinks. No artificial flavors or preservatives. With each purchase you make, Liquid IV donates 1 serving of hydration multiplier to someone in need. Liquid IV fuels tough workouts and helps prevent muscle fatigue, promotes healthy post-workout recovery. It also contains 5 essential vitamins, including more vitamin C than an orange and as much potassium as a banana. Jen Miller loves it and has been drinking it for years to keep herself hydrated. Right now, our listeners get 25% off at liquidiv.com when you use our code KFMS at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order at Liquid IV's website. Go to liquidiv.com and enter promo code KFMS to get your savings and start getting their hydration. Our next ad, which is right here, is Upstart. As most of us have found out the hard way, getting into debt is easy. Getting out of debt, real hard. Especially if your FICO score isn't great. Thankfully, there's Upstart.com, the revolutionary lending platform that knows you're more than just your credit score and offers smarter interest rates to help you pay off high-interest credit card. Tim's friend could have really used Upstart when he was in college to help manage his life. But it's not too late for you guys. Upstart goes beyond the traditional FICO score when assessing your credit worthiness. They actually reward you based on your education and job history in the forms of a smarter interest rate. Interest rate. Upstart believes you are more than just your credit score. They believe in you. They make it fast and easy to check your credit rate in just a few minutes without affecting your credit score. The best part, once the loan is approved, most people get their funds the very next business day. Over 200,000 people have used Upstart to pay off credit cards, student loans, funding their wedding, or make large purchases. Free yourself of the burden of high-interest credit card debt by consolidating everything into monthly payment with Upstart. See why Upstart is ranked number 1 in their category with over 300 businesses on Trustpilot, and hurry to upstart.com/morning to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes and won't affect your credit. That's upstart.com/morning. All right, let's get back to the news for some more exciting stories. Hold on. I'm almost there. Oh, Joey, I think you're going to like this next one.
Oh my gosh.
Or maybe you'll hate it.
To All the Boys I Loved Before?
No. Fast and the Furious. 9. Cast officially confirms John Cena.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Hell
So we had that creepy ass video that
Vin
Diesel put out.
Vin Diesel's
in
the
April.
worst. He's the fucking worst.
Wait, it was just so weird. It's so creepy about he's like God sending someone to fight, keep the fight going.
But yeah, but he does it, and it's like, can someone just write these things for Vin Diesel? Like, don't let him talk by himself, because he comes off like a fucking weirdo.
He's so weird.
Weird.
Or he looks really, really high.
Oh, he's very high.
Yeah.
He also just has the worst and weirdest sense of style that I've ever seen out of anyone.
Follow Vin Diesel.
You gotta follow Vin Diesel. He's a goddamn
interesting.
national treasure.
It's very interesting.
He's like the opposite of The Rock, where like The Rock does. You follow The Rock and it's like inspirational,
So
and he looks
polished,
great, and
yeah.
he's polished. And when he wears a suit, you're like, fuck, that's what a suit should look like.
Yeah.
All my suits look like shit compared to that
Vin
suit.
Diesel does not wear suits.
Vin Diesel wears
and
He's just dumb, right?
He wears
Yeah.
really long jean shorts and big like boots, like the big work boots, like Timberland boots, and then just basketball jerseys all day long, and just bad
It's
sunglasses.
like he never left the 90s.
God, he never left the 90s. But no, who's going to tell Vin Diesel no? The
No
Rock,
one.
on the other hand, is like stylists and is just dope looking, and like is lovely. I don't know. I love Vin Diesel. Don't get me wrong. I just love talking shit about him because his Instagram is just so fucking twisted.
But how do we feel about John Cena being in this?
We confirmed that The Rock is not in 9,
yes,
right?
in 9.
Yeah, so I think that's what we're seeing here,
absolutely,
right?
yeah.
They realize there's a big hole being left by The Rock leaving the franchise. The Rock now has Hobbs and Shaw, which all accounts is setting it up to be the next era of Fast and Furious. And if they're really rounding out the Fast and Furious core franchise at 10, you're going to need a heavy hitter like John Cena to come in to kind of to fill that void, because we don't have, we'll have the Vin Diesel. I think Vin Diesel and John Cena together on screen could be really, really fun. Well, yes, because I think here's the deal. I think that The Rock and Vin Diesel are too close together as character types, and when you don't have like you don't have the what's his name, Paul Walker character and some of the other characters to season that out. I feel like they
just
don't mesh
competing
that
for the
well.
same place.
Yeah, I mean, when you look like let's call it what it is. Like Fast and Furious is just these stereotypical characters that are filling these things. You've got the tank. I mean, it's like literally like a 4-player co-op like shooter, right?
Yeah.
You've got the tank, the medic, the hacker, or whatever,
brains.
the brains or whatever. And so like when you have too many of the same thing, it's not as fun as when the chemistry mixes together. So I feel like John Cena could potentially bring a different dimension to that, because he's a little bit more of a comedic actor.
Also a tank?
Yeah, I guess he is. That's true.
My issue isn't
true.
so much with like filling those spots as much as like I don't think that John Cena is nearly the same caliber as The Rock.
I don't know.
No.
Did you watch Cockblockers?
I didn't watch Cockblockers. I saw
He was great in it.
What's the Amy Schumer
And
one
like
that I
we
did?
saw a little bit of range in Cockblockers in a really cool
that's what I'm
way.
saying. I think
Okay.
he's got.
Yeah.
I think he's got comedic chops that they might be using for this. I would be very disappointed if they brought him in and he just played the same Hobbs character, where he's just like a gunslinging tough guy badass. Because honestly, that shit is annoying. Like, that doesn't work anymore in modern action movies. You have to have humor and you have to have charisma.
Yeah. He's definitely gonna play a badass, but I hope that it's more like I really
I
want
don't want him to play the role he played in Bumblebee.
Does he confirm
Right, no.
what kind of role? Like,
No,
is he-
that's still all.
so we don't know. He
unconfirmed.
could be the villain in theory, right?
I doubt it.
But he could.
They like to get serious, like more serious people. I feel like I want him to join the cast and
I
be
guess
part of the
what's her name's
family.
still around,
But
right?
also, Cena, you don't forget, Cena has a huge audience. Like, he's fucking huge.
Well, that's the thing
he's
that's
he's not,
funny.
but very few people are The Rock huge.
But
like, actually, no
this
one's
is-
The Rock huge. He's the
He's
highest
probably
grossing.
arguably the second biggest WWE like superstar, maybe.
That would have
That
to question for
transcended-
cool, right?
Bautista is
that's
pretty
true.
big right now.
That transcended to the
I'm saying
entertainment
as a
industry.
movie, like
Yeah.
as a movie star.
Yeah, I think there's. I mean, I think he's a huge draw. I love John Cena. I think it's a great addition to the cast. I think it's going to fit in well with the cast. And honestly, this is all upside to me because it frees The Rock. That he's had a lot of tensions with Vin Diesel and with Tyrese. It
Yeah.
frees The Rock to go have fun with Statham and make Hobbs and Shaw 2. And that movie looks like it's taking Fast and Furious into the next era. There's other spinoffs. I think there's an all-female Fast and Furious that they're still doing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's supposed to happen.
That could be super fun as well. They round out the 10.
It's
gonna be great.
female-led.
Female-led. Well,
Yeah.
it's not going to be like the entire cast female, but I think the core main characters are going to be the females. That could be fun as well. I think this is great news. I think let The Rock do what The Rock wants to do, and if you give him the funds, 1 out of every 3 movies is going to be real fun.
I think if they introduce a new character who is played by John Cena, who is the subordinate but also son of Mr. Nobody, like I think that they could do something really fun with that.
I feel like they're going to just bring him in
Yeah.
as he's going to start. I think it's going to be the exact same.
I really hope that
as
it's not.
Hobbs.
I
think
hope-
he's going to come in as an asshole antagonist and then realize the team's cool and then join the team at the end of the movie. That's probably what's going to be.
I
They're literally just
hope
filling
that
him.
they change it up a little bit and we have this like bumbling guy who's trying to impress his dad, who is Mr. Nobody, and it's like this guy that we know
because we already
don't
have
know enough.
We already have that character
he
in
died.
the Eastwood character.
And he died. He's
he die?
dead. Yeah.
Oh, well, whatever. That's how much I remember the last
Yeah.
Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah. I'm excited. I like John Cena. I hope we get some like throwaway bullshit John Cena reference line in the movie, just because I think it would be fun. I'll be interested to know what once we see trailers for it of like who he is in this world.
He's going to be.
He's probably going to be a
Hobbs.
cop. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because I want them to have a little bit more of a dimension because again, like
You don't think he's gonna be like an old pal of Vin Diesel or something?
no, I think we've met all of Vin Diesel's old pals at this point.
Keep
They're all
him
part of
coming.
the team.
LA's a big place.
No, I think
Pull him out of the
I think they're
shadows.
literally just going to swap The Rock for Hobbs, and it's unfortunate because I think Cena could do more, but who cares? It's 2 more movies, and then we get Hobbs and Shaw for the rest of our lives, and that's fine.
Fasten your seatbelts.
Fast 10 Furious.
That's the best you had, huh?
That's the best they're gonna have.
Let's move on to the next story. Ghostbusters 2020 sequel
Yes.
confirmed to bring back original cast members. Jason Reitman.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Confirmed in a panel that Weaver, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Bill Murray are all involved in Reitman's upcoming sequel in some capacity.
Yeah. So he brought them on sort of as advisors. That's what he's saying. He's saying like, listen, the one thing that you have to remember about Jason Reitman is that like he is aptly placed to be a person that can actually bring Ghostbusters back the right way. Son of Ivan Reitman, who directed the original Ghostbusters, and I think that he's doing this right. He wants to make a love letter to the original Ghostbusters. He's bringing in all the original stakeholders that are alive still. Unfortunately, Harold Ramis passed, because that would be amazing. Like having him be a strong voice in it was always nice, because he balanced out Dan Aykroyd's insanity when they went to go get the story together. But that's what you should do. You know, this is a movie a franchise that people love so much for a good reason, because it was actually good back in the day. It had a lot of heart. They did a lot of things right. And when they brought it back in 2016, they just forgot one core fundamental part of it, which is that they lost the heart of what it was to be a Ghostbuster. It wasn't, you know, they just strayed so far from that. So I think we've learned lessons from that. He wants to bring back the cast in a good way, not in a hacky ass way where Bill Murray's sitting down the entire time because he doesn't want to stand in real life, or he's wearing a hat because who the fuck knows why he's wearing this hat. I think they're going to bring this back.
The inside, like the outfit, you know.
Oh, who the hell knows? My hope is that they're going to bring this back, and these characters are going to be cameos in a way that feels good and is organic, and they're not outstaying their welcome. And it sounds like Reitman's really focusing on the core family part of this, with the young girl and the young boy, like Finn Wolfhard's character, being sort of the main characters in this. And I think that's a really cool angle for it.
Yeah, the cast is Finn Wolfhard, Carrie Coon, and McKenna Grace.
Yeah.
So I hope that we actually get a more of the Ghostbusters Corp kind of thing, where it's like, oh, you know, you can buy this big thing for like however much money, and then you can become a Ghostbuster. And like their cameo is like they put in the video once they buy it, and it's like Bill Murray being like, you know, like, thanks for buying the kit.
That's possible. I forget. I think they've talked about what the plot is going to be to a degree.
Have they?
Yeah, because I think it centers around a family. Like, I think it centers around a mother and her son and daughter.
Yeah.
Because that's the character. Carrie Coons is the mother, and I don't know how they're gonna weave in Sigourney Weaver or any of those people, but it'll be interesting. I mean, my pitch for this would be get away from New York. You know, get away from the city.
And from the little like teaser thing, it doesn't. It looks like it's country.
Let's put us out someplace else where there's ghosts and people have to figure out how to fight them. And there was this thing called Ghostbusters. Yeah. Where's that technology? We have to reach out to these people and try to figure out how to solve this problem. That's all it needs to be. Or for God's sake, just set one in LA, baby, because that would be dope too.
Yeah, I'm excited. I feel like Jason Reitman probably has way higher stakes in this, because he wants to honor the legacy of it.
And also don't forget, Jason Reitman did Up in the Air. Some people reminded me he did Tully, which a lot of people liked. He's a great film director, and he's a great storyteller, and that's what this needs. Like, you can't just, as we've seen now with Men in Black International, we've seen it with the 2016 Ghostbusters, you need, and we've seen it, you know, and I don't want to keep drawing DC to this, you need someone who's going to be a stakeholder who really understands the heart of the story.
Yeah.
And that person needs to be the one driving everything forward. And I think Jason Reitman is, I don't want to say it's like his birthright, but I think he's earned it as a great director. I think he grew up in this world because his dad was the one that helped create this. And I think that he's part of this family. Like, for all intents and purposes, he should be the one to do this movie, because it makes sense.
A lot of pressure, though.
You know, let's hope he's Jon Snow, not Robb Stark. You know what I mean? Let's hope he doesn't get massacred by this. Let's hope he goes and it finishes out. Well, that's a terrible analogy, because Game of Thrones finished out terribly. But let's hope I think he's going to do a good job with this. At least it'll be more interesting to follow this than it was the Ghostbusters 2016.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to wait till July 10th, 2020 for that, for the movie. Hopefully we'll get more news on that soon.
We're going to start to see, but here's what I like about it already, right? Is he's giving us news. We're getting news in the way that you should get news, from the source, from the creator, in an organic way, and it's starting to build hype. And when they start, like, that teaser built hype It looks like a Ghostbusters
really
movie.
cool
It looks
teaser.
like what a modern Ghostbusters movie should look
Yeah.
like. You got the sounds. You don't have wacky improv going on the entire time. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Reitman, if you're watching this, don't fucking just tone
At
down
no
the improv
point
a little bit
in
and
the
write a good
behind the
story.
scenes commentary should anyone be like, yeah, we had 8 hours of improv for this scene, and it's like, man,
No. And for the
wrangle
love
your
of God,
people a little bit more.
Stay away from eyeglasses that have no lenses. Just stay away from that joke completely.
I never saw.
Don't touch it. Oh,
Oh, sorry.
Why did you
I didn't
touch
know. I didn't know.
it?
I didn't know. He started going in.
Yeah.
Can I touch it? He touched it. Can I touch it?
No.
All right. I'm gonna keep moving. Next story is Love, Death, and Robots renewed for a second season on Netflix. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I
Never watched
enjoyed
it.
the heck out of it.
It's on my list, but it's pretty low. If I'm gonna be totally honest.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone that's watched it has said that it's really good.
Yeah. There's no release date or anything, but it is gonna get a second season, probably called Volume 2.
Did you watch it?
No, it looked cool.
Yeah.
It just
You also don't like anthology.
I don't like
stuff.
anthology stuff.
Yeah.
I have not evolved to the point where I can deal with one-off stories like that. My brain goes, no, I'm investing in this an hour. I want payoff, and that payoff needs to be me getting good character development and good stories. It looks cool. At some point, I might pop in and just play a couple of them just to see the animation style because some of them look gorgeous. But no, we have another animation story on the docket today that I'm way more excited about. So,
Took that one off.
no, okay, well,
The
fuck it then.
Sony Animation.
Yeah, I just thought that Sony getting in that rated
Yeah.
R animation game sounded cool.
Sorry, let's bring it up. Sony is I don't have actually deleted it.
No,
from
it
the-
was just a story that they have a slate of up and coming rated R animated movies,
Well,
including
they're
a couple.
still doing kid ones too.
Yeah, they're still gonna do kid
But
ones,
they're
but
doing-
they're
yeah.
gonna dip a toe in rated R movies. Not the least of which is gonna be a couple by Gendy Tartakovsky, excuse me, who did Samurai Jack and the upcoming Primal.
Primal, yeah.
And some of those sound real cool, and they're doing Boondocks and some other stuff.
Yeah.
So I just like that they're.
It's cool to see that that's still alive.
Well, they're realizing that animation is a format that adults can appreciate too, especially since a lot of us grew up with it and we never let that part of ourselves go, rightfully so. So I'll be interested to see what that happens with that. And with Into the Spider-Verse, they've proven that they can tell really cool stories with
Absolutely,
animation with that
yeah.
medium, and it doesn't necessarily you can appeal to both kids and adults. Shocker! It's almost like nobody watched a Pixar movie for the last 30 years and finally we should try that. We should try to make a really good movie that's animated that kids are gonna love because there's lots of action and shiny shit, but parents won't be bored shitless watching.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, what's the next story?
The next story I just want to bring up quickly. I want to have us look at this Spider-Man poster. Cool, Greg, can you grab that? Because it looks terrible. What is it with Spider-Man? They just can't make posters that look
this
properly
is where, here's
made.
the deal. You and I differ on this.
Yeah?
Because this is a very different. This is a very distinct style, and I love it. It's very much a traveling European stamps on your
No, I get
luggage,
that,
stamps
yeah.
on your passport. This harkens back to the olden days where I don't know. It just
But
looks
it's just
like
looking at this, they cut out the SLJ and what's his face on the right?
Jake
Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
And they just cut him out of a scene in
Sure.
the movie, and then
Those are production stills, probably.
no, those aren't, because the way it's colored, they didn't add that, they didn't put that in there to make them match.
You never know. I mean, look, it's not the best poster,
He's got
but
blue tones,
I
and
think
on the
it's
right,
cool because it smacks of a 1960s Warhol.
I like
poster
everything
that you'd
but the
see.
two of them.
I think
you
yeah.
like the little Spider-Man coming down from the bottom
I
that
think it's
also
cool.
looks like
I like
cut the
this.
PNG out.
But see, I'm just a big fan of Big Ben in the background in that specific
Yeah,
style
all
of
of the, sketchiness
I like
of
the
it.
London Bridge. I like I don't know if that's Knight's Bridge. Anyone in Europe, tell me which one that is. I just think it's cool.
I like the
You got the
mixing
Ferris
of
wheel. I like
the
it.
London Eye. I like the sketchiness.
This just seems like something that I could make, and it just blows my mind because I feel like they've had now 2 bad posters, and
What was
they did another one we showed last time, and when they came out with the first one, the Homecoming, they also put out bad posters, and it's just weird that it keeps going.
I just like the style. I think this is fucking cool.
Yeah,
but that's
other
just
than
me.
SLJ and Jake Gyllenhaal, which I think are weirdly placed. And
Very weirdly placed.
I
I
want
would be
them to
fine with
be-
just a Spider-Man poster.
Yeah.
With this, if they. Took
I
them
also
out.
would have been fine with that. Bear, you seem to have some opinions.
Yeah, I was gonna agree. Adding the other characters in and the tiny Spider-Man looks like I just made a thumbnail for some Gamescast thing, and it looks like I did this. I'm not great at making thumbnails or doing Photoshop and stuff, and just I don't disagree with you two about I like the style of Big Ben and all that stuff, but
Yeah.
if it was just Spidey in the middle and then everything else, it would be a really good poster. But then you add in like these like weird PNG files of Samuel L. Jackson, Jake Gyllenhaal.
It's definitely not.
It looks like a 10-year-old.
I think it could have used a couple, like another day or two of work on it. I'm not going to say it's not that, but I think this is a definitive style that maybe you guys just don't necessarily.
But what my
with.
critique about it is that like the way they
it's
cut
cool.
out. The way they cut out them in the three smaller characters just looks bad. Like
Yeah, but to me,
the resolution isn't right, and it looks fuzzy compared to Spider-Man himself.
To me, it just looks like it's a very nostalgic like movie cover or poster from like the 70s. That's what this reminds me of like a movie like The French Connection or a travel heist movie or things like that. And honestly, it just makes me think of Europe, makes me think of traveling. Passport stamps, they don't really do that much anymore.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. Luggage, when they used to do like luggage stamps and stuff like that. This is cool to me. I don't hate it.
I would assume that this poster is made by IMAX.
It's made by IMAX, yeah.
Which is like another like they just kind of did with their thing.
Sony hasn't been doing
CRS_1 says that the IMAX poster for Homecoming wasn't that great either. He's like,
Yeah.
go look at that. It's like the scrapbook theme. I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're obviously over criticizing something that it doesn't really matter.
I'm
but
just bringing it up because it's funny. Because
Yeah.
it's not just IMAX that did bad posters. Sony has also done bad posters that we've also brought up, just being like, who photoshopped this?
oh yeah, this is like their style.
Was he?
That's the IMAX poster for. No, that can't
Whoa,
be right.
that's
That
not
cannot be
right. I've not seen that before. But I'm gonna move on to our next story. And Nick, this one's just for you, so
Let's
I want
do
you to pay
it.
attention.
I'm paying attention, homie.
Dune TV series will be helmed by Dune movie director Denis Villeneuve.
Yes, and so it's interesting that he's going to do the pilot.
Yeah.
He won't do the whole series. He's way too busy for that. But he'll do the pilot episode, similar to how I forget who the creator of House of Cards was, but I think it was not Ridley Scott. Whoever did House of Cards or like executive produced it, did the first episode, I think as well. I want to say it was Fincher.
But I feel like that sets the tone.
Yeah, and that's why they do it, right? It's sort of a style guide for the rest of the season. They come in, they you have a heavy hitter who's used to working with these actors, so you don't have that common sort of having to find your ground with the pilot. You can hit the road running, and then maybe they'll do 1 or 2 episodes, and then that's sort of how they get the team going. Because with a series like Dune, if you're gonna make a TV series, you can't have one director doing the whole thing. You got to have multiple directors probably working on different episodes and pre-producing those.
Do you know what the show is about?
The show is, I read the article. It's about the sisterhood.
Bene Gesserit.
Yeah, which is awesome, and it sounds like it's a prequel. Because it sounds like it's about the Bene Gesserit before they came to Dune and how they got there, and then all the stuff that
Interesting.
happened in
I didn't see
Arrakis.
that.
Yeah, I read a little thing. I could be wrong about that, but it's awesome. And honestly,
The Bene Gesserit are super interesting.
everything in Dune
Everything
is super
in Dune
interesting.
is super interesting. Joey, do you have any interest in Dune?
No.
Cool. Hopefully when trailers come out, we can win you over.
You know what? I think
Dune's awesome.
So I think Dune is one of those series that is it's not polarizing, but it's definitely like you like it or it's not for you. And that's fine, because I think some of the best sci-fi series are that. I think that was the same thing with Blade Runner 2049, which was like, you're either in or this is not for you, and there's no problem with that. The issue is going to be what happens when he does Dune, the movie, and it's a huge, mega big movie, and it doesn't do well again because it's too deep
will
sci-fi.
This continue? So the thing about this, this show is coming out on Warner Bros. Streaming service.
Interesting.
So it's another one of those things. Like Warner Bros. Announced their streaming service. I want to say like 2 weeks ago, a week ago.
I think this is cool. Don't get me wrong. I probably won't get the Warner streaming service. I know it includes.
That's what Tim was saying with the movies is what you get, right?
Yeah, I guess you get some of the Warner movies. I think you also get like HBO or something else in there.
That sounds
or
right.
Stars or some shit, which could be cool. I'll have to see. We'll have to look at the economics of that. What I'm going to say about Dune is Dune deserves its own movie franchise. And I don't mean that as like a trilogy. I mean, there's so many cool stories to tell in that world, and so much that they continued from
So
what
you
I
mean like a
understand.
cinematic
Dune
universe.
Messiah, like when the books have gone on.
Yeah.
It would be cool if they just made like a Dune movie every 4 years. I would be okay with that. I don't need there to be a television show, because honestly, the television show, I think the idea behind these TV shows is that they keep the brand in the public eye for a while. But I think the side effect, more often than not, tends to be burnout with a lot of this stuff, where people go, I think Marvel was threading the needle there a lot with those Netflix show for a while, where the quality started to dip, and then it started fucking up the brand, and then it's like let's pull those back in house where we can make them our own and really keep an eye on.
Well, I think
things.
that was partly because they're two separate departments.
Yeah, but there's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like Denis Villeneuve is not going to sit here and show run a TV show on a
Really
Warner
cool
Brothers
if he did,
streaming
though, you know
platform.
what I mean?
He is a AAA Hollywood director right now. He is not going to spend his time
His
doing
movies
that.
haven't been a success at all.
They're critical success, and
I love a lot
I
of them.
think most of his movies have been successful.
Really?
Yeah, I think Sicario was good. I think Prisoners did well.
Really?
Yeah, I mean they're not blockbuster,
Yeah.
but he doesn't make blockbusters. The only movie he's made that I can think of in recent times that has been a big budget, like hopefully fingers crossed blockbuster, was Blade Runner.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the other movies he's. Oh no, he did freaking Arrival, didn't he? That movie was great. I think he did Arrival. Yeah,
I think you're right.
yeah, and that did well. So
Yeah.
he's a phenomenal director. And I think his talents would probably be wasted very much with doing an entire TV show, but we'll see what this looks
I
like.
mean, if he's passionate about Dune, right?
He is passionate about Dune, but also you have to remember, like, getting a
Because
movie
like,
off
it's
the
been
ground.
his dream to make this movie
It's
for many,
a fucking
many years.
great
yeah.
dream, and he deserves it because he's put the fucking work in with all
But
the sci-fi movies he's made in the past.
I do feel like the problem with Dune is that it is a giant story that like you have to give a
That's
lot of
why
time
I think
to.
they're going to do a good part of it in 3 hours with the movie, and
Yeah.
we'll see where it gets.
Yeah.
You know, my hope is that they round out that story because I have a feeling that I'm going to love this movie. I'm going to fucking scream from the top of the rooftops
casting
that
is
everyone should go see this,
amazing,
and I
yeah.
think no one's going to see it.
Yeah.
But it'll depend on the trailers. But it's going to be Blade Runner 2049 again. It's going to be a deep, deep sci-fi with cool action, wonderful acting, a very fucking intricate story, and it's going to lose 90% of the audience right off the bat. People are just going to be like, I don't want to see that. It's going to be
That's
too dark.
devastating.
Is it
Too
just
deep.
because there's not as big of a built-in audience?
No, I think there's a huge built. I think it's probably safe to say there's as big an audience for Dune as there was for Blade Runner. That is to
Really?
say, the audience for Blade Runner, I think they vastly overestimated how many people would come out and see that because the original movie came out in the 80s. You have to remember the Dune book's been out for what, 4 decades now. When that come out, late
Sounds
70s,
about right.
early 80s, maybe even earlier. I don't even know. I'm spitballing this completely. So I think there's a built-in audience, myself included, and I think there's a built-in audience for Denis Villeneuve. But I think that we just don't have a market for that type of movie right now. And it's unfortunate and it breaks my heart, but Blade Runner 2049 is a fucking phenomenal film.
It absolutely
And no
is.
one went out and saw it. And it tanked. And it's so annoying because you have Aquaman making $1 billion and that movie looks like, I mean, the movie is what it is. You know, you've got all these DC movies, Shazam, all these movies making $1 billion. And then you've got this amazingly thought-provoking, intricate, deep sci-fi. There's just no market for like real sci-fi anymore. It has to be an action film. It has to star a big name, and the trailer has to fucking be a 1,000 miles a minute rip roaring fun. You know, and there's no space anymore in the public eye for methodical, slow, beautiful sci-fi anymore, and it's just really sad.
But that being said, I think that Dune can also have these big giant scenes that they could put in a trailer and make people
Oh, it
be
will.
like,
I mean, you got
oh,
the
shit.
sandworms
coming out,
and a lot of people are saying, you know, Arrival did do well, and it's true. Arrival
did do well.
but I think Arrival's going to be in a
It's
slightly
not a
different
great movie.
I thought it was great.
I know. I was just talking shit because I see that Barrett's in the chat saying
Yeah.
it sucks.
I really liked Arrival.
I don't think it sucks.
Yeah, I know. Barrett, like.
I just like Arrival because I love slow moving, slow burn, build attention sci-fi, and that is Denis Villeneuve to a fucking T. The man builds tension in his movies better than any director I've ever seen in my entire life. If you don't believe me, watch Sicario. Go watch Sicario and tell me the part where they get to the border crossing doesn't fucking pay attention to how tense your asshole gets in that part. Because you're like, what is going to happen here?
Did you ever see the second one?
Prisoners is the same way. Prisoners is that Hugh Jackman movie where he kidnaps the guy because he thinks the guy kidnapped his kid and he tortures him for. It's the kid from.
I think I was
There Will Be
thinking No
Oil.
Escape.
No Escape is a Ray Liotta film.
Yeah.
That's a good film too.
Is it
That's
really?
a Ray
I
Liotta,
liked it. It was
man.
like a fun action film. No, Prisoners is Hugh Jackman's daughter gets kidnapped and he thinks it's this kid who is played by the fucking guy from There Will Be Blood. Paul Dano.
I hate that guy.
Yeah, he's weird.
Oh, I
and so
like
he
him.
thinks it's him because he's weird.
Well, I hate him because in There Will Be Blood.
And he kidnaps him and he puts him in a fucking shower and boards him into the shower and then periodically turns on the hot water to torture him to tell him where his kid is. It's horrifying.
I watched that movie. So dope.
It is
Really?
fucking great.
Damn.
Cool Greg stamp
Cool
of
Greg
approval.
recommendation.
It is. Yeah. So sorry, we've talked enough about this. I'm very passionate. I think Dude's going to be great and I hope people go see it.
I
Go fucking
I
see
hope
it.
so too. I can't wait till we have a
I
trailer.
haven't seen a frame of this movie, but
Yeah, that's the
I
thing.
have a feeling it's going to be
There's been
fucking
a
phenomenal.
lot of news that I've just purposely not included because I know how excited you and I are. how excited we are about it.
Yeah, we get jacked up on that,
I don't
too.
want to like break Joey or Tim. Where they're just hearing about this movie nonstop.
I think Tim, we'll have to walk Tim to the theaters. And Joey, I don't mean this in any bad way. I don't think you're going to be interested in this that very much.
I don't love sci-fi in general, so I'm not.
It's very heavy sci-fi.
It's good. Yeah, I mean, like it doesn't get much deeper than Dune. Let's put it this way: when I read Dune, I saw I really saw the origins of a lot of modern day great stories, including Game of Thrones. So like you read Dune and you're like, oh, this is where you can see a lot of the influences for like the politics and the different factions and like taking characters that you love and killing them off so that other characters think it can then come up. You see a lot of that craft in Dune, and also just as a sci-fi movie, it's gonna be great.
It's
a cool world, or universe rather, galaxy, I guess.
Galaxy.
Yeah.
And then our next and last story, Oblivion song movie will be adapted, or will adapt Robert Kirkman's sci-fi comic. Oblivion song is an ongoing comic right now that I like.
Is it good?
I haven't read it. I'm hearing great things. I have issue 1.
I read issue 1 of that I talk about every time we go to the comic book store.
I don't know.
Let's all go to the comic book store today and read it for lunch.
I'm 100% down for that. It's just interesting to see the Robert Kirkman's, like everything he does getting made into other mediums.
You know, he's really fucking good though.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I talk a lot of shit about Walking Dead because I think the show's run its course and now it's just a big money grab.
Mm-hmm. But they keep grabbing money, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, when the actors don't even want to work on the fucking show anymore, you know, it's like it's time to let that go.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, Invincible is my all-time favorite comic book series.
Yep.
And we'll see where that movie goes. Or the show goes, right? I think they're doing a show with that, not a movie.
Well, they're doing a show and a movie, right? I believe it's an animated show, and then separately a movie is getting made.
Happening, yeah.
I'm very excited.
I'm
for
more
both.
excited for the animated show.
I'm both. I'm hoping they're both good.
But cool. That's good.
Yeah.
Good for Kirkman, man. Keep that empire a-flowing.
All right, now it's time for some trailer talk.
Yay.
Trailers. Hanging out with the boys and watching trailers. There
Excellent. Our first trailer, Doctor Sleep.
Stoked.
Very interesting. Had no idea there was a sequel to The Shining.
It's fairly recent, right?
Yeah, the book
like
was,
the last
I want to say,
5 years.
a little bit, maybe a little bit more, but somewhere around there, yeah.
Cool. I mean, the thing that interests me very much about Stephen King and his books is that there is a shared Stephen King universe.
Sure.
And that's fucking cool.
But you have to remember that the movie, what's the first one called?
The Shining.
The Shining diverges a lot from the book. Stephen King does
Hates the movie.
Does not like it at all. He made his own movie, which is supposed to be terrible.
I never watched it.
I never watched it either.
Kubrick.
I've just heard about it, and like it's just supposed to be really bad.
You know, I think I saw The Shining once when I was a kid, and it was so long and slow that I don't think I ever got into it. So I need to go back.
Really?
The thing I'm excited about this movie for is it's going to give me a reason to go back and watch
Yeah.
The Shining.
Yeah.
In the trailer, they have a couple scenes that they like are remaking.
Recreations, yeah.
From the
Yeah, I saw the twins coming
Shining.
down. You see the
The kid on the
Danny.
the-
It's cool
yeah.
that he's
The
playing.
cutout door.
Yeah.
He's the older version of that. You get the cutout door and all that stuff. So I think it could be cool. It gives me a weird vibe of a movie that starred Sam Neill a long time ago called In the Mouth of Madness, which was, I don't know if it was a Stephen
really
King
cool
book.
name.
Yeah.
He's going crazy and the world's going crazy with him and he can't tell. And so it has that kind of like vibe to it. It could be cool. Good trailer.
Yeah.
Started off a little weird, but ends with that brooding song. I forget which song it was, but the cover of that song was really good.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't remember the
That's
song,
okay.
but I like the trailer, and I'm very interested to see where this goes. I was never a big fan of The Shining.
The Shining is that was like one of those movies that I watched like at home with like one of my friends during junior high, and we're like, I don't know what this is. We'll put it on. It was like terrifying.
Yeah.
But I am excited about it. It's interesting that whoever this director is, I don't remember, I guess talked to Stephen King about trying to figure out how to put this in the Kubrick like aesthetic and universe.
Yeah.
And like managed to convince him, which is really impressive considering how much Stephen King
Yeah,
hates
I
that
believe
movie.
he got also permission from the Kubrick estate as well.
Interesting.
So everyone's giving him the green light on this.
Yeah, I like Stephen King. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if it's good.
His like whole universe is really interesting.
But
I
it's
just
super
wish
hit
it
or
wasn't
miss.
like 50 books deep.
Yeah.
It's not actually 50, but like it is a lot of pages to like really like when Nick, you were trying to read those books, right?
I was reading Salem's Lot. Actually, I was listening to Salem's Lot on Audible, which I really liked. And trying to read it, it's fucking long. They're long.
Yeah.
And that's my only criticism with that is I'm like, he writes books. Really likes to get into stories, really likes to develop characters, the side characters, the characters' friends. And at a certain point, I'm just like, I'm out of this.
Yeah.
My pace of life is a little too fast for these now.
Well, it's impressive that he's able to crank these out as fast as he does.
I mean, Steve, make no bones about it, man. Stephen King is probably the most prolific writer ever.
No, there's some lady that has beaten him.
Yeah, but
by a
Danielle
lot.
Steele.
It's not even. Is that her name?
I don't know.
Oh.
She writes.
Well, Danielle
like,
still writes
a
those
billion movies.
those romance novels. She writes like 3 a year or some shit like that. But I just mean as far as like actual mainstream. That's probably a bad thing to say because I'm sure there's plenty of people that like those Danielle Steele models. But you're
talking about good books.
I think there are very few people who. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Basically, like books that are actually hold up.
No shade to Danielle Steele, but it's a different caliber.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think you go into a Danielle Steele book thinking this is going to be an impactful novel like It or any of the other books that Stephen King. But Stephen King, I think there are very few people on that level with him. And
She's
I think
super formulaic. He has individual.
Yeah, I mean,
plot
we
lines.
read a story a while back where I didn't realize that Stephen King. I think it had been with Stephen King. Wrote The Running Man.
Yeah, but he
And
wrote
I
it under
didn't-
a pen name.
Yeah, because he was worried that
So cool.
it was going to sully the brand if he had too many books coming out. That's how prolific this guy is.
Yeah.
And he's got movies. I mean, the guy, he wrote Stand By Me, for Christ's sake, which if you want to see a great fucking movie, go watch Stand By Me. Go watch The Green Mile. I think is Stephen King as well, isn't it?
I think
Yeah.
so, maybe.
Yeah, or
so
was
good.
it Shawshank? One of those is Stephen
both.
King. Both.
I believe both.
Yeah. So I mean, those are phenomenal movies.
Now that I'm saying it, I want to double check.
I think they are.
I'll look at chat.
So yeah, I mean, he gets a bad rap as a horror writer and horror. I shouldn't say bad rap, but he gets a rap as a horror writer. But he's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Have you, slightly tangential, have you seen the I Like Scary Movies thing that's in LA right now?
No.
So it's really cool. It's like they've recreated like sets and scenes from different movies, including The Shining. I think it's Nightmare on Elm Street and then Beetlejuice.
Oh, cool.
And you can it's pretty much like an Instagram museum essentially.
Yeah, one of those,
But it's
like,
just cool to see all of these like big
experiences.
set pieces that
That's
you go
cool.
through. So
Oh,
if you're
I'd
in
love
LA,
to see
you
that.
should look at that because it's real cool.
All right, moving on to our next trailer. This is a documentary that's coming out called Love ANTOSHA.
Yeah, this is going to be really sad.
This looks like a tearjerker, and like, I didn't know if I wanted to put it on, but I think we all, or at least Nick, you like Anton or
Yeah, I liked Anton. I mean, I love
Like,
Anton
yeah.
Yelchin. Like he was. It's really sad. If you're not familiar, he's the one that played. Oh God, I'm trying to think of other
Star
movies he was in
Trek?
that wasn't Star Trek. But yeah, he was
in
Chekhov in Star Trek.
he was also what Barrett something, right? What's the movie about the kid that like ends up being a psychologist for his school?
Charlie Barrett.
Charlie
That was
Barrett.
a great movie.
Yeah,
with
that's a
Art-
fantastic
RDJ.
movie, and he was awesome in it.
Great actor, and unfortunately died in a
Charlie
weird
Bartlett.
accident where Charlie Bartlett.
Yes.
Charlie
Thank you.
Bartlett. That's it.
He unfortunately died. His car rolled him over on his like I guess the e-brake
He
failed.
was like changing the oil or something, and the car pinned him against the fence, and he passed
it's
away.
really sad. So this is a documentary about him and his life, and they've obviously got interviews with Simon Pegg and a bunch of people who worked with him.
Like,
Kristen
it
Stewart's
makes
in
sense because obviously he's in all these big movies, but like the people they've pulled for like that we saw little hints of that are going to be in this. It's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
There's so
Well,
many like
he's
names
been
and
working
faces
forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And he's been in a ton of fucking movies.
Seeing him doing an interview when he's like what 6?
Yeah.
It looks I didn't
It's-
realize he had been in the industry for that long.
Yeah, and it's sad because you think of like it reminds me of River Phoenix. And you guys probably don't remember River Phoenix that well, but he was so big back in the day when he passed away.
Yeah.
And I'm
But
not
he
saying
was
that
still
Anton
very
Yelchin-
young when he passed away.
He
right?
was in his 20s, I want to say.
I thought he was younger than that.
No, he'd done quite a few movies. I think he
Yeah.
was, but he, long enough to develop a very bad drug habit.
Yeah.
But
Take long, Hollywood.
yeah, but I mean, it's one of those things where you don't. It's so sad because you look at him and then you see the breadth of movies. Whenever you put the like all of his accomplishments in one trailer, you're like, damn, this kid was really a big.
Yeah.
Like he was a really good actor and did some great work and was really committed to it. And it's really sad that he passed away.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying he was on the level of River Phoenix because he certainly was not. River Phoenix was like a fucking a thing. He
Yeah.
was like an epic actor for his
Right.
time. Like everyone, he was the it guy. But yeah, it's just sad.
I'm very interested to see this documentary, although it looks like a real bummer.
Yeah, I don't have like a huge attachment to him, but the documentary does look incredibly well made. Impressive to see how many people they got to talk about him, even in that short trailer.
Yeah.
So I'll probably watch it, but it's hard to go it's hard for me to go into these kinds of things knowing like, oh man,
it's
this
gonna be a
is
bummer.
not going to be
Yeah.
this is not going to be a fun movie.
Yeah.
And let's move on to our last trailer, Frozen 2.
I'm excited. I just still don't like. There wasn't a whole lot there.
I mean, it's just similar to the first trailer that we saw. We're getting a little bit more of a flesh out, like what is about.
Yeah.
Here's what I like about this. They're fleshing out the world. We're working toward a bigger universe out there. That's cool. And I think there's a lot to play in that little playground with. I think that there's, the idea that there's this bigger world that can maybe start incorporating, like if the Frozen universe is the tip of the spear that starts incorporating some of the other Disney characters and Pixar characters or whatever, I think that could be really, really cool. And I just
There's
love
all those fan theories about how they're all interconnected and stuff like that.
There's a lot of fan theories, and like if this starts making it an interconnected web,
I think it's cool.
I'm gonna love it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna
I
really,
think-
really enjoy that.
I think I'm gonna love it. I think it's very now. I think that's exactly what they should do. Having said that, I love that this isn't a straight to streaming or straight to VOD movie. I think this is a real theatrical release movie. I think they're looking at Frozen in the same way that everyone else is looking at their franchises right now and going, oh, you know what? Maybe sequels shouldn't be an afterthought, and maybe sequels shouldn't be a money grab. Maybe we should spend time and try and make the sequels better than the first one so that we can then build a franchise, because everyone wants franchises now, right? Everyone's looking at Universal's Fast and Furious. They're looking at Marvel and Disney's MCU and going, oh, you can actually, because you guys have to remember, back in the 80s, sequels were jokes.
Yeah.
Like every comic had a joke about sequels because they just would shit these things out. They would be bad. The actors wouldn't get back in shape for them. It wouldn't matter. And then they'd make more money than the first one, but they'd be markedly worse. And then by the third one, that's when you'd see the law of diminishing returns. And so we're in a brave new era now where, hey, you're making people I think feel the onus to make a movie that stands up, holds up to the first one, or is better than the first one. And I think that's great.
I mean, and Pixar's done that before, the Toy Story franchise.
Yeah, but
that's one
I
of the
feel like
first
that's only
ones.
that's smaller.
But this isn't Pixar, right? This is Disney proper, right?
No, it's Pixar.
This is Disney.
Yeah, Frozen's
really?
not. Frozen's not
yeah.
Pixar.
not?
Frozen's a Disney animated film. I mean, I'm sure.
Definitely thought it was Pixar.
No, I think Pixar's working. Well, Pixar just did Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
So that's what they're probably working on.
I always forget that Frozen has the whole little like rock family people guys.
Yeah, little gnome people.
Totally 100% forget about that.
When they roll
as
down the hill,
thing.
I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
That's a thing. They
They're
have a
the
whole song.
and they're like also that dude's like adoptive family.
Yeah. Totally forget about that part of
Right.
it. I wanted to see more of the like fall character that they had teased in the other trailer,
Well,
which
look,
we
the-
didn't get.
the big
But I do
question-
like the water horse.
Oh, I like the
unicorn
water horse is
thing.
cool. I like the imagery with her and like all the star stuff that's happening. I like when she's doing all the Frozen stuff that's making shapes and things. I think it looks cool. It looks darker. It looks like it's going to have a lot more depth, which is good because I think Frozen 1 had a lot of depth. So more is good.
Yeah.
And let's be perfectly honest. What's the slap going to be? Is there going to be a slap?
What's Adina Menzel going to bring
What's
this
the fuck
time?
is
There's
slap?
gonna be a slap. You
But
just
I
gotta
don't
wait
know.
for it.
Is it ever going to hit?
Let it go. No.
Yeah,
But-
you
No,
say
man.
that, but like these people know what they're doing.
Bro,
You know.
fucking changed my mind. Let's go.
I hope they do.
Let It Go is the best Disney song ever made. Changed my mind.
Oh man, don't bring this up. This is
All
a highly
right,
contested
let's
topic.
instead of talking more about Let It Go, let's move on and talk about what's out on streaming platforms right now in the United States. On Hulu, No Strings Attached.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Let's
thought that
go.
was the movie that Nick
Let's
liked.
go.
What's that one?
I just watched it again on cable. I'm such a sucker for
Which
that
one's
fucking-
that
It's the
one?
Aston Kutcher.
No.
No, not Mila
No,
Kunis,
no.
Natalie Portman.
And then
Just
Mila Kunis
Friends
is the other one.
is the other one with
Jay
JT.
Timberlake.
Yeah,
Okay.
which I've never seen.
But like Tim always tells you is better.
Yeah, but I just like pissing Tim off by
I
saying
know,
it's not
and
as
that's why I
good.
brought
I
it
liked
into
the
the
Ashton
story.
Kutcher one. I think.
Everyone liked it.
I
It's
don't know.
better.
It's hard to keep them. They're all
No,
just the
see, he's
same.
fucking with Tim right now. Tim doesn't even watch this show.
It'll get back to him.
On Netflix, we have I Am Mother.
Yeah, weird. I don't know that I recommend it. If you're bored and you have nothing else to watch, maybe. It's an interesting like
But
premise
it's interesting, right?
of like this girl being raised by a robot and like, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? What's real and who's the good guy in this one? I don't know.
And then one more movie, Rolling Thunder review, a Bob Dylan story by Martin Scorsese. Any interest in that?
Kind of.
I fucking knew Barrett was gonna walk in here for that
on,
one.
Barrett.
Why
Yeah, we can
aren't
talk
you
about it.
just running the show? Why did I have Cool Greg come early?
Because we had this all planned where I'd be here last night and then it didn't work out.
Barrett's yelling. You can't hear him.
Thanks for coming by. Barrett seems to be excited for this Bob Dylan movie.
Netflix?
Yeah, it's out right now.
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Something else I think that comes out this weekend is that murder mystery movie. That's Jennifer Aniston.
Is
and
that this weekend?
Adam
Damn. See, the
Sandler.
problem is I don't remember names
that
of
looks
stuff.
good.
Yeah.
I'm like genuinely
I'm watching
excited
it
Can we
this
about
find
weekend.
that.
out if that's this weekend? Because
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna write that down.
Release
somewhere.
date June 14th, 2019.
That's today.
Oh, that's today.
That's today.
Yeah. What's it called?
Murder mystery.
Murder mystery.
It looks fucking
One more
funny.
thing for Netflix.
I'm genuine. I don't really love
Joe,
Adam Sandler,
I'm gonna
but
text
I
you when
want
we
to
watch it.
this.
I'm gonna text you when we watch it this
Okay.
weekend.
I'm gonna-
Dean and I'll probably
Include
watch
me
it
in that?
Saturday
Can you
night.
include me in that so that
Sure.
I remember to watch it?
Sure.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll watch it. I also think I'm going to see Shaft this weekend.
Don't see
Doesn't
Shaft.
look good. My parents
That
want to
movie's
see it.
gonna
I wanna
suck.
see that.
It is
It's
not.
Father's Day.
It's
I
not
got to do
getting
whatever they
great
want to do.
reviews.
It is Father's Day this weekend. That's right.
Don't
Oh my
forget,
God.
it's Father's Day.
Speaking of movies that are coming out this week.
Sorry.
No. I was
Oh, yeah.
I was using that as a segue to get to at movie theaters near you. Men in Black International.
Yeah.
We don't recommend it. Shaft, Late Night, and then The Dead Don't Die. Have you
What's
guys
that
seen
one?
trailers for that?
No.
I almost included it, but like there was just something off about the trailers.
Is it a wide release?
Yeah, it is, and it's.
Oh,
is it Bill Murray?
Yeah, it's Bill Murray, Adam Driver.
Oh.
Yeah. Did I include it once?
I think you did once.
Maybe. Okay.
The Dead Don't Die is okay. Yeah, it's not getting good reviews.
Yeah, it's not getting good reviews. It like something seems off in the trailers or the trailers that came after that.
Well, isn't it weird to put Bill Murray in another zombie movie that's not Zombieland? Like, I feel like
Not necessarily. This one, I saw the trailer for this.
Is
and I was
he
like, there
just
could
playing
be
the
something.
same
in it.
kind of character?
No, he plays
No,
a
it's very
sheriff in
different.
this or
Okay.
something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, it's like an ensemble cast.
in
but
Zombieland he is Bill
he
Murray.
plays himself,
Yeah.
which by the way was great.
Brilliant.
Love that. I
So
don't
those
know,
are
man.
a couple movies you can go check out.
Cool.
I'm interested in The Dead Don't Die. I feel like that might be fun. Late Night looks terrible.
What's Late Night?
It's Mindy Kaling and Emma Thompson.
Emma
right?
Thompson, yeah. No.
Where she's like brought in as a writer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah, I wasn't
It's a
thrilled
great
by
concept.
those trailers.
It's a fun concept, and I like the commentary in it. But you will see.
All right. So last week I asked you kids about what your dream Marvel slates are. Like I said, Barrett did not tweet about it. So very few people. One person answered it. Let's read it.
Dream Marvel slates.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking.
Okay. I'm not asking you. I'm just asking them.
Yeah, but maybe I'll have an opinion too.
Okay. Awesome. The nanobiologist says, I want to see a live action Spider-Gwen introduced, expand the Spider universe, and take that line to the Spider-Geddon.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
who doesn't want to see web slingers, the Spider-Man cowboy fight, the Spider-Man vampires, and the Mighty Thor Jane Foster movies? Those
That'd
would
be
be
cool.
great movies. I'd be excited to see that. But I feel like they've burned the Jane Foster card. You know?
Yeah, Natalie Portman. No.
Yeah,
I
she's
think
done.
Natalie Portman
into
burned
it.
that card for herself.
No, they burned it.
Did
They
they?
screwed up. Yeah, because remember when Thor 2 happened, Natalie Portman was like, I don't want to do this. And they were like, but we'll get the lady that directed Wonder
Right.
Woman to do
Patty
this.
Jenkins?
Patty Jenkins. And she's like, fuck yeah, if she directs it, I'm in. But then she signs the paperwork, and then they were like, she's not going to direct it.
Bait and switch, man.
Yeah, and then she was like, well, I don't want to do this. And they're like, well, you signed some papers, so you have to.
Yeah, that's
Sucks.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
I'll be interested.
So I really
to
feel like
see-
Marvel fucked that situation up.
Yeah. What they do with Spider-Gwen
They got
with
Taika
Into the
Waititi.
Spider-Verse, like how that kind of. I mean, I know it's not MCU.
Yeah, yeah.
But it looks like they're kind of painting Spider-Gwen in that. I don't know.
Yeah, but I could still see, like, I still think there's a chance that someday, and like, I feel like it's far away
Yeah.
to getting a Spider-Gwen movie, but like, we are getting stuff of like multiple universes and the multiverse. So like, we if that's not just a trick, we might get a little bit some Spider-Gwen
Yeah.
hints at, or maybe in the far future.
Yeah. I don't know where it fits, and it's probably more the streaming service, but I don't even know if it's like an episode of that what if thing of like seeing what Black Panther would look like from Killmonger's perspective.
That'd be so cool.
So
cool. And that's the kind of thing that I'd want, like the full, like a actual movie with what's his
and
face
like
in it.
the whole cast and just like, flip it.
Turn from the other side.
but we'll see. That's the only thing I can think of.
All right, for next week's bronze topic, man, I'm really excited about Dune. And I want to know what book series you guys want to see as a movie.
Ooh.
Let me know if something's already in production, like that Clock Tower movie that everyone Andrea
Dark
keeps
Tower?
talking about.
No, that already came out.
The Clock of the Walls? No.
No, there's some movie.
Oh, the Golden
that-
Compass stuff.
Huh?
The Golden Compass franchise.
No, there's another series coming
Jesus
that,
Christ.
that Andrea's like, oh, it's so much better than Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
It's like, all right,
so
cool.
good.
Yeah,
None of
that
us have ever heard of it.
Anyways,
You guys
let
don't
me know.
read.
Keep it. Yes, true. We don't know how.
Fucking hell. Boring.
Keep it, short, 140 characters. Remember, we don't know how to read, so. Yeah, let me know
Wheel of
what you
Time.
guys-
Thank you, Chad.
Wheel of Time. That is what Andrea was always talking about. Anyways, that's the end of our show. I hope you had a good day and enjoyed everything that we brought to the table. I'm like half asleep right now. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to mention. I kept almost falling asleep through Men in Black. So difficult to stay awake.
I'm bummed. I wanted
Yeah.
to like it.
Yeah, me too.
Meh.
You can follow us on that social media. You can follow Nick Scarpino at Nick_Scarpino.
You got it.
Nailed it.
You can follow Joey at Joey Noel.
Make it easy.
And you can follow me at Kinda Funny Kevin. Go to the movies and watch something great, like Booksmart.
Yeah.
Watch Booksmart. It's still the best thing out, aside from Endgame.
Is Endgame still out?
Yeah. But not in like IMAX. It's depressing.
Yeah.
You can kill the lights. Cool, great.
Bye.
Bye.